Okay. Hey, guys. Shop Talk Podcast, episode 23. Back at it again. I don't know if we keep saying the intro over and over again because people know what they're listening to by now, or do we just keep going with it?
We just keep going with it.
We say episode 23.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's different every time, just a little bit.
Yeah.
By one number.
So, yeah, we didn't... What'd you do this week, Kyle? We didn't have any races to get ready for.
You know, I got a full-time job. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't take my winters off. So I was painting cars and stuff, you know, all the fun stuff. So exciting thing that happened last weekend, my ZRT showed up at my house. So that was kind of something that I did a little rundown on this weekend and brought it out to the lake today. But we can get into that after our little segment whenever we want to talk about triples.
Sure. So. Yeah, well, we're going to give Dustin and Dillan Dohrn the call.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we could even talk triples with them.
Yeah, see if they're going to bring out a Skidoo or...
The last I talked to them, it sounded like they were.
Mach Z?
Or
whatever the hell those things are.
I don't know.
Formula 3, I think, was a 600.
Yep.
They're fast. They make power.
Yeah. Well, isn't that what Austin Leake's setting up?
Yep.
Yeah.
Formula 3.
Yeah. So, and then they had that 440 they were getting ready too.
Yeah. So they'll have a plethora of Skidoos showing up.
Yeah.
You know what I think would be the cool thing to do, being that they're Skidoo guys, but I know they have a 94 XCR 600 special.
Yeah.
They're a limited build, but back in the day, they're just a monoblock 600, but those were the fastest ones, they say, the XCRs or whatever, with the monoblock 600. And Wes Smith, a guy who used to race for Pro 5 back in the day when those things first come out at Pine Lake in 90, it must have been 93 because they were a 94 model sled.
Yeah.
He said he had his at like 117 miles an hour at Pine Lake for a stock 94 XCR 600.
Damn.
Yeah.
We're a little ways off then.
We're kind of, which I don't understand because, you know, monoblock, I mean, you can make power out of them, but bone stock, like how?
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Speaking of speed, I wrote down Hypersport.
Yeah.
Set
Did you see
the
that?
new world record for 1,000 feet, Brody. 202.33 miles an hour.
Holy shit.
In 1,000 feet.
Damn.
And I seen something like in like 1,060 feet, past the line, it was like 211 or something.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's insane. What do they do for like belts and
I know.
stuff? Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's not even a snowmobile really
Right.
anymore.
No, you can't call it a snowmobile.
Essentially, but
Like Vince would say, it's an upside down conveyor belt that kicks in really fast.
yeah. And it doesn't even take off fast neither.
No.
If you watch it from the starting
It
line,
hooks up.
yeah, it just like it slows into it,
Yeah.
and then it just freaking comes on like that. Like the first 50 feet, he's hardly even going.
I imagine it takes time to build boost, you know?
Yeah.
Just like a car, you know, as soon as you're at optimal boost, then it fucking shifts out. But how much fucking engineering and to make it handle that is insane.
So yeah, episode 23, we got the Dohrn brothers calling in about their excursion in Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a few things written down. I went to the 286 race this weekend.
That looked fun.
It was. I have a few things. Some of the parents at these races, like the 120 dads, are like the same as the 50 dads in dirt bike racing.
Yeah.
It's just you just got to shake your head sometimes. So there's this yeah. The dad's doing the full windmill on the inside of the track for like a 4-year-old. It's like, come on, man, that kid is. Just leave the kid alone.
Yeah.
Just let him ride the track by
figure it
himself
out.
almost.
Yeah.
Or else there's one on these 200s. There's like a dial jet or something, I guess, where you can like adjust the
Fuel.
jet.
Yeah.
And so this one guy, he's over there, and I asked Nate about it. It's like, what is going on over there? Just that 200 wide open on the stand for about while like 2 races are going on. That 200 is just wide open on the stand. You can hear it, and then lean it off a little bit, and then let her come back down to wide open again for like at least 10 minutes.
Oh my! And those things like spin RPM.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. And yeah, the amount of people, and then the. I mean, you could go on and on about it. It's just something you got to scratch your head about sometimes. Where
was that KC Pro?
No, it was 286.
Okay, yeah,
it's a different race circuit.
Yeah, I see.
But like it was at the Fertile compound right there by Christian Brothers.
Yeah,
and so like they had a hell of a track there with like a lot of snow, and so it was like a nice track with a lot of white snow actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Not like this past snowcross race where it looked like they were racing on dirt.
Yeah, down in Sioux Falls. That's what I heard the one guy say. It was like getting roosted was like almost getting sandblasted.
Oh, I couldn't imagine.
That would suck just so much worse than getting roosted by snow and ice chips. Oh my God, through gravel and rocks.
Yeah. But yeah, I went there I was watching Brady's kid Carter and Nate and his kid Tilden. And also Jesse was there racing too. Jesse and Marshall raced the sport class.
Yeah.
And against like Colin Taggart. And there's this one kid, I forget his name, but he was like 12 or 13 years old. Just smoked Jesse and Marshall.
No way.
Oh, he was kind of right on Colin too. Too. So that kid is whoever, I can't remember his name, but yeah, he's going to be fast.
Huh.
So I was teasing Jesse and Marshall for being pro cross country guys in the racing sport at a regional. But it was pretty fun hanging out there with those guys. So, but yeah, I could go on and on about the 120 dads because it's so weird for me because our dad at the races was like he wouldn't be yelling, he wouldn't be waving his arms or nothing.
No,
it's just like
he would just watch the race.
Yeah,
yeah, like whatever happened.
Same at like football games or nothing.
Yeah,
he was never. He's just there to watch.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's like he knows that we can't hear him cheering or we're not looking at him.
Yeah.
So like, why even like you're just watching the game or watch the race?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hate seeing the freaking dads. Freaking out. I hate it. Yeah, shake my head.
Dads yelling at their kids and kids yelling back at their dads. It's like, jeez. We're here to have fun. We're having fun. Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But okay, we're gonna get the Dohrn brothers on here. Okay, we're gonna try to do this a little more.
So they're both gonna be on one line.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
No.
Hey, how's it going?
Dustin Dohrn, how's it going? Live on Shop Talk Podcast.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Not much. Okay, Dustin. So we had Alex Satine and VanSlyke on last weekend. I merged their calls in together, but we did have some technical difficulties doing that. So if you could just please hold for like 30 seconds, we'll get Dylan in here at the same time as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, because it was a lot of technical difficulties, but it turned out to be really awesome.
Yeah, that was a good episode. That was my favorite, probably.
One of the better ones we've done.
Yeah. It was.
Hello.
Dylan, okay.
You're on the line, Dylan.
Okay, now we have both Dohrn brothers on the line. Dustin and Dylan, are you there?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay.
Sound like the same voice.
And they both sound good, too.
Yep. Yeah. Cool.
Okay, so how's it going, you guys? I don't know how you guys want to do this with talking back and forth, but one of you can just say what you got and then the next one just to follow. I don't know.
Yeah, going good. It's nice to be home and get back to work and like a normal a way of living and not sitting on a snowmobile or in a pickup. I know that.
Yeah.
It seemed pretty normal to me driving.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys finished. So like, we talked about this on the last podcast on how you guys drove up there, rode the race, rode the 2,500 miles, and then you had to drive back. Was that, would you rather fly up there after doing it, driving up there this time, or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd ever say I want to drive that ever again. That was terrible. Flying is not the best either, but yeah, 55 hours in a pickup is not ideal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, especially
Just-
after
just
finishing the
our week
race
is-
too.
What was that, Dylan?
It doesn't bother me because I spend 70, 80 hours in a semi by myself all week, every week anyway.
And he was a passenger princess for about 85%. So he was the radio and the snack guy. So
Yeah,
Sure.
that's fine with me.
Yeah, somebody's got to be that.
yeah, it's just nice to have company. Riding by yourself is like I would be just mind numbing. Like if you didn't have somebody to just be like, hey, you see that moose?
You'd be calling your wife every hour. Hey, I seen a moose.
24-hour stretch when you don't have any service.
Yeah. Then we had to download like a bunch of your podcasts that we had already listened to, and then a bunch of other ones that was like, okay, we're coming into this area, and we know we're not going to be able to listen to the radio for like 8 hours, so we got to find something to listen to.
Jeez.
That would be gnarly.
And that's like, so like just driving up there, that's through like the Canadian backcountry of just one road for hours on end, or what?
Yeah,
So
there's turn off like every 700 kilometers.
Okay.
Yeah, Dylan knows the road, I think, a little better because he was the map guy. But yeah, when we got to like the actual Alaska highway, it was like getting there was like just like driving through North Dakota forever. And after that, it was like, oh, at least like there's mountains and like things to look at out here and like cool stuff.
North Dakota makes sense. The Yukon does not.
So starting off with the race, you guys are up there like a week or 2 weeks ahead of time. So like you get all your practice in and everything. How are you feeling like going into race day for you guys?
The last time.
We should pick.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you ask a question, either pick Dustin or Dylan.
Yeah, that's probably worked.
Yeah.
So which one of you guys was the leader through like that you picked off the first day? Like which one of you guys was the leader?
Dustin.
Just a question for Dylan or Dustin?
I mean, whichever one was the leader.
Yeah, I was the leader throughout the race. So besides when Dylan got frustrated, like right at the end, and he's just like, yeah, get out of my way, and it drove around me. I was like, all right, you know what, whatever.
Yeah. All right, I think we got a good groove here now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so going into race day, you guys have a couple days of practice on your sleds. How are you feeling up in Alaska, Dylan, on your sleds?
Like I said, I felt a lot better than the last time, just because you have so many unknowns, and you're doing something you've never done in your life. But this time around, felt good. It's just like everybody gets nervous. And I don't know. There's not much to get nervous about. You're just going to ride your snowmobiles for 8 days. Like I said, I felt a lot better, and I didn't race the 500 before that, and all that stuff too. So just a lot more familiarity with it. It's really nice.
Yeah, because like you guys did you get any time on your sleds at all, like in Minnesota before you went up there, or no?
No.
Tons. We rode everywhere. Everywhere that there was snow, we were riding.
0.0 miles.
Yeah, I had 7 miles on my sled in the ditch outside of my house before we got up there.
Jeez. You guys could have came up to Pine Lake and got some miles on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been
like great. Yeah, great preparation for the Iron Dog.
Just a smooth, nice, flat
Ice course.
Yeah.
40 feet wide.
It's exactly like the Iron Dog.
Yeah.
So to start the race off, day one, you guys started, I think you took off like mid-pack or something, I want to say. It seemed like right away there were some issues for like some of the bigger teams like Ackelstead. Those guys sunk their sled in a creek on the first day. Like, did you guys pass them while they were fishing their sled out? Or did you come across any stuff like that, Dustin?
So we didn't pass them. We took another trail because they took like a route around this cabin by Roan, and that was kind of where I believe they had sunk. But we went by the cabin, so because we didn't really know. Like there was a couple stakes that showed us to go by the cabin, so we're like, oh, okay, this is the trail. And then we looked down and see a team was actually passing us on the river yet, and we're like, oh. And then we got the stories all came out, and I'm like, oh, that must have been where there's more open water where they actually did have some issues then.
Team 7 was in Roan when we put fuel on. They were sitting there getting their stuff ready to go.
Yep. Yeah. I forgot about that, I guess.
So so take us through day one then. You start off, and it was actually cool because once you guys got I think they said 10, 15 miles down the trail, they actually had a camera of you guys coming through that one little section. So that was about the only time we actually got to watch you guys on the track.
In the first 15 miles that you're actually feeling good and not hating your life yet.
So yeah, in that first little camera, you guys looked really good.
Yeah, you got to do what you do in cross country. Like you see one camera and you're like, all right, I'm going to ride really hard and then hopefully not crash. And after I get past the camera, I'm just going to go do what I was going to do anyway.
I think we had passed a couple teams already at that point. A couple guys had some problems already. So
Yep. Because that's I remember them saying that they were missing one or two teams as you guys came through.
Yep.
So, I don't know, just take us through your all the way up to the halfway point or something, because we were planning on calling you guys in Nome, and I guess the city of Nome didn't have any service that week or something out of the ordinary happened, or.
Yeah, we're not really sure what went on there, and that was kind of the common theme for the whole race. Verizon didn't have very good service anywhere, but yeah, so we started in Big Lake and got to Squetna. Dylan didn't run into me after Squetna, so that went better than last time. And then we got to Whiskey Bravo pretty good, and got stuck behind the team there. So we were a little frustrated, oh yeah, now we got to get going. And then we got back on the trail, and they had just broke a new trail to kind of keep us from going in head-on traffic when we left. And there was this huge berm, and Dylan I threw my hand up because I hit it, and then he slowed down just enough when he hit it that he actually hit it and just nose dove into 5 feet of snow. So he got stuck there, and then we're oh, now we got to get back on. Got his out. I couldn't get turned around because there's so much snow, so my foot is just sideways in the trail. And we got out of that area, went to Renae Pass Lodge through there, and then we got into a little bit of rough, tundra tough type of just hard dirt chunks everywhere. And I just kept smoking my face on the handlebars because I couldn't see anything. And I'm like, this is stupid. So we've seen that Team 3 was coming up on us, and I'm like, oh, this is great. We're going to let them pass us, and then I'll just follow their helmet and watch them hit all the bumps. So we followed those guys down onto the South Fork, and it was way smoother when you could see somebody else hit a bump that they couldn't see, and then we could kind of adjust for it. So we were happy with that. Got down onto the South Fork, and we ended up passing them, and then I think they passed us back shortly after. But
no,
yeah, we were really clean up.
They passed us when we went into Roan when we took that other trail.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
41 and 3 both passed us back there.
Yep. So yeah, we went from there, and everything was good there. We got into the burn, and there's no snow at all. And I didn't even realize it until that night. But when I went to turn around and get Dylan, help him get unstuck, I flipped my snow flap up so I could go in reverse and try and get Austin Powers style on the pack trail to try and get turned around. So I never realized that my snow flap was kicked up. So we're going through an area with no snow in it, and my snow flap's not getting anything to cool the sled down.
Yeah, I'd seen that video of the burn, where there was absolutely no snow. How long of a stretch was that?
It's 20 miles, 20, 25 miles, maybe. That there wasn't much. There was a couple little ponds and stuff that you could kind of spin around on, but other than that, there was nothing.
That's gnarly.
Yeah, and it's 20 to 30 miles, but it feels like 2 hours to you're on that crap.
Just running your nice new sled right down the dirt, right away in the race too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and fortunately, by the time you're done, your carbides are worn out enough that you actually don't feel them grab that much anymore.
How about Hyfax? You have any problems with Hyfax?
No, with the DuPont slides, I don't know. We didn't have any issue at all with them. They wore a little bit, like where the vessel ends, but other than that, like those things never seem to wear out unless you're ice racing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'm sure you're running the DuPonts, and then you also run into a skid frame full of wheels as well, too, right?
Yep.
Just
yep.
for those conditions, just in case.
Yeah, and then you just never know on that. I mean, I guess I don't know how you would make it without the DuPont slides. I don't know what those guys. I'm sure everybody ran them, but I don't know what they did before they had the DuPont slides.
Probably ran like 20 wheels in there.
Yeah, right.
Just ran an old idler suspension.
Yeah.
Huh. So,
but yeah, I guess the rest of the first day, Dylan, if you want to talk about the rest of it through that part.
I don't really remember a lot of the rest of the first day, just following you. But I know when we left Roan, seeing Team 7 behind us obviously is kind of like, well, I'm going to keep watching back because I know they're going to be coming. They're going to be on a high rate of speed. So it was kind of cool to follow them guys for a few miles and watch how smooth they are. I wouldn't say they're not like blazing speed fast, but they're 90%, 100% of the time.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Like how would you compare them to like as your normal ditch racer, Dylan? If you were going to go race the 7
I'm not
Clans,
not incriminating myself because I'm not going to tell anybody that anybody's faster there. I'm not stepping into that war.
Yeah.
It would be fun to see them come down to race our guys, and it'd be fun to see our guys go up there and race them.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
It is. It was pretty crazy. Like Team 7 got around us. Of course, like they were going to do that regardless of what we had going on. But when they got around us and we got into the burn, and it was like, we're riding right behind them, and I'm like, oh, this isn't that bad. Like we can run this pace. And then all of a sudden, like slowly, they just they're a little further ahead. They're a little further ahead, and yeah, they're gone. Like, yep, I don't even know where they went now. They're way ahead of us.
That's well, because they know the course so well up there too. Like if you guys had the amount of Alaska miles on,
I would say in that area too, though, there's not a lot of like, it's not like 17 trails. You take different trails. They're riding so much more consistent than we were and knowing what to do. And, they're sitting down and just taking everything that they can. And they're not letting up. Like we'd hit something like, okay, that was kind of bad and that was close. And they push it right through the back of their mind and don't even think about it.
That's gnarly.
Yeah, they won 2 years in a row for a reason.
Yeah. Holy crap, yeah.
Yeah, they're knowing how to save their bodies and knowing how to kind of like go through things and not lose any ground on anything. So, but yeah, the rest of the first day was pretty uneventful. I mean, going through the Buffalo tunnels, we just kind of made it through and then got to Nikolai and went down the river into McGrath, and that was really all the first day. There wasn't really a whole lot of like crazy stuff that happened, which is nice to get into McGrath clean. I don't remember how far we were behind the lead, but we were like in a respectable like time that it wasn't like, oh yeah, there's no way we're gonna do good in this race. Like we're still kind of in the race. So
yeah, and I would say that the better part about being in McGrath clean is that there was a lot of teams that weren't clean. Because 49 and 7 and 19, there's probably 3 or 4 teams that had problems right away. Yep. And it was nice to leave McGrath without having to change A-arms and everything like that.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and Dylan, you want to talk about the second day, the beautiful ride through Foreman and Ophir, and
I don't remember a lot. I just followed taillight the whole time.
Like when you're following Dustin, Dylan, like how far behind him are you? And like how was the snow dust? Was there a lot of snow dust where it was like sticking to the goggles or what?
No, not too bad. But I'm sure I was a lot closer than he'd like me to be. It wasn't bad. I tried following 4 to 5 sled lengths behind him, but mine was faster on when we get on hard packs. It was hard to judge the pace. You just kind of get in a groove and go. But all of a sudden, I'm on his tail light, like, maybe I should slow down a little bit.
Yeah, there was a few times that I had to like hand signal to like back off. I know you can keep up. We have no problem there, but I don't want you to run me over when I crash. So
yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you guys are, but like being brothers, and you see that, like, if your older brother was behind you, I could definitely feel that, like, and he's catching up to you, I'd get pissed. Like, my emotions would be just totally jarred away from the race,
Yeah, and then it's that other thing too of like I know he's not going to run me over, but also I know him as a rider, and I know that he might run me over. It's like, well, I know he's not going to want to run me over, but I could see him running me over, so this could get interesting.
I could see it too.
Yeah.
Like you guys all overestimate me.
Yeah. But yeah, so the second day of that race is like you go in and you're sore after racing the first day, and then the second day comes and you're like, oh yeah, this is not too bad. But then you get into the second day, it's like going from McGrath to Ophir is pretty simple, and then going from Ophir to Poorman is like it says it's like 99 miles or something like that, but it feels like it's like 250 miles, and it just bumps the whole way.
Yeah, I would say Ophir to Poorman is my least favorite part of that whole race.
It's terrible.
And then it's rough or what?
Yeah, it's like one of the longer sections of the race, so it's like 100 miles is a long ways to go anyway before you like get a drink of water. But then it's like 3-foot holes the whole way. For like once you get off the river, it's just pounding the sled through, and it feels like it just takes forever.
Yeah, that I got to retract my statement. The loop from Buckland all the way back to Buckland sucks too. Never
Yeah, we'll get to that. There's a lot to talk about now. Not a lot to see, but there was a lot to talk about. But the second day it wasn't too crazy. We got to the Yukon River, went down the Yukon, and got to Galena where we had planned to stay, but we were kind of up in the air with it because we knew the leaders were going to push on to Unalakleet. So we got in there and just got fuel, went down, got off the Yukon, and got to Unalakleet, and just walked into the grocery store, and we're like, hey, does anybody have a place for us to stay? We didn't really plan on getting here, so.
So what happened there? Did anyone be like, yeah, I got a garage you can stay in, or like what happened?
Well, they had
a place.
So they had a bunkhouse there, so basically we just bought our own groceries and made dinner. And then three other teams were there with us, so got to hang out with them guys, and we got to be friends with all them guys too. So.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We go to the grocery store and like buy food, and we leave there. Or the guy comes and picks us up, and he drops us off, and he's behind that trash can. There's a white door. Just open it up, and we walk in, and it's like, oh, okay, we got a room with 6 bedrooms on the side, and not really much else going on in here.
What did they charge you to stay in something like that?
It was like I think like $100 a guy for the night.
Yep.
And that's pretty standard up there in all the places you stay. So.
Oh, really? Oh.
Pretty much just man camps up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little different for us. Like some of them guys are kind of used to that lifestyle, but I'm not. I know that. Going after sweating all day, and then like go into Unalakleet, and there's like Dylan said 4 teams there, and there's no shower there, and it's like, all right, well, we'll throw our clothes in this room and throw a fan in there and hope everything dries out.
Yeah,
that room with the fan was terrible.
Yeah, that was no place to be.
There's no continental breakfast.
No, nope. Unfortunately, they didn't have one there.
Oh shit.
But yeah, I guess keeping moving down the trail, and then we got from there, and we got to at the Koyuk. We had a pretty fast line down the ocean, which is kind of surprising to us. Like on the sea ice, we we found a pretty smooth groove and got the kayak good. And then everything kind of changed. We got a really good friend up there, Jacob Hannon, and we're like, hey, how's the trail going north? And he kind of like smirked and giggled a little bit, and I'm like, no way. Like, it looks nice out, and we got like 20 miles out of town, and it was like pure whiteout conditions. Couldn't see anything in front of you. And I ended up, we came over like this kind of just a smaller hill and not really in any mountains or anything. And then there was a creek that came through it, and I didn't see anything. I just bombed it, hit the other side. I crashed, and I'm like, swearing at myself and my helmet. And then I get up, and Dylan pulls up next to me. He's like, well, you're not the only one that crashed. And there's just parts and like people's belongings scattered around this whole area.
Oh, no.
I think I see a Reese's peanut butter cup sitting there.
Yeah, people were there for a while when they crashed.
Yeah, and I think that's where Team 41 must have crashed on the same thing. And they got the one rider got he hit his chin on his handlebars, and he had to go into that's Buckland, and he had to get stitches in Buckland because his chin was kind of hanging down a little bit.
Ooh,
oofta.
Yeah.
Bleed on his handlebars when he got into Buckland.
Oofta.
Yeah. So he had a way worse crash than I did. I just had to figure out where I was. He had to do a little more maintenance on himself.
Huh.
But yeah, going to Buckland, besides not seeing anything, like we got into Buckland and went up to Sellewick and Sellewick, or no, not.
Yeah, Sellewick.
Sellewick? Yeah, Sellewick Lake.
Sellewick. Buckland is Sellewick. You might as well put a 5-gallon bucket on your head and ride.
Yeah, we got on the lake, and I'm like, awesome, we're on a lake. Like, at least it's smooth with no bumps. And when you're on a lake, there's no structure, there's no trees, there's no hills, and it was just flat snow. And Dylan like stopped me. He's like, don't just take off because I can't see you if you're like a sled length away from me. I'm like, okay, well, I can't see anything in front of me, so I don't know where I'm going.
So then are you just looking down at your little GPS on your dashboard then to make sure you're kind of in the right area?
Yeah, so like we had GPS tracks, so you know at least like if you stay on that track, you shouldn't like drive off a cliff because somebody else has done it before. And so I just zoomed way in, and then there was my clock on my GPS was right in the middle of the GPS, so I kept that line right in the middle of the clock. And the wind was coming from whatever direction. I couldn't even tell you which way we were going, but it was pushing us to the side. So it felt like we were driving in circles for like 40 miles. Like your handlebars were turned and you're like leaning off the side of your sled, and it feels like you're turning for like 40 miles and you're actually going in a straight line. And it was terrible. And then we got into Sellewick and couldn't hardly see town, couldn't see where we were going. And like everyone's like waving and telling you where to go. And you're like, okay, I don't really know. Like, even what I'm going to see over there. So you're just driving around town, found the fuel stop, and we saw one of the team that we were pretty close to on time was stopped there, and we're like, you know what, screw it, we're done. Like, let's just take an hour and just stop and like take a breath, and hopefully this storm like stops being so bad.
Yeah, and part of that is trying to get to dark too, because it's easier to see everything in the dark, get some definition on something.
Yep. So yeah, we went into Sellewick, stopped into where I don't even remember where they dropped us off at. It was like some little community center or something, and a bunch of the local people brought over like home cooked food and like hot turkey plates for us and like all kinds of stuff. So it was awesome. We're sitting there like, oh, we're gonna be sitting in like, you know, outside or in like a little hut or something. But they actually brought us in and fed us, and like we had like drinks and everything there. So we're like, this is sweet. We should stay here for a lot longer than we are. But then so we switched to just an hour layover because we were kind of like, well, it's gonna be bad regardless. So we never really set a layover time when we came in. So then we told them we want just an hour. So we got back out on the trail, but that hour kind of did get us towards the dark, so we could hopefully see better. So we went north, and then I don't even know what I hit, but I hit like I don't know if it was some other racer said it was a log. I never seen it. So I hit it, and my sled, I don't think, went like a foot off the ground, but my seat catapulted me when I bounced. So I flew like 10 to 15 feet above my sled or whatever it was. Dylan was laughing when he pulled up. He's like, dude, you were flying. I'm like, yeah, I know. I don't know what happened. I'm riding my sled, and all of a sudden I landed on my windshield.
Rolling the window down, what was in the air.
Yeah, just flying through the air, and then I hit the ground. My sled is sitting on the trail, and I look down, and my glove's laying on the ground. I'm like, how did my glove get on the ground? So I go up to put it back in my glove box, and my glove box is closed. I'm like, I really hit it that hard that I hit the glove box open and it closed itself. Like, that's kind of cool.
Is that
So
where
then
the crack in the windshield came in then? Because I seen that was all taped up.
Yeah, we found the piece of my windshield and stuck it like on top of our fuel tank, like put a bungee strap over it so it wouldn't fly apart, or fly off. But that's where I went through my windshield, or whatever happened, landing on it, or
Karate kicked your windshield or something.
Yeah, that's still up for debate what actually happened there.
I still can't believe you crashed more than I did.
Yeah, and it's not fun. I'll tell you that. I mean, it was like, I don't know. You couldn't see anything like leading, and I know like the back, being in the back's not much better, but like I feel like I didn't see anything for like 500 miles, and everything I hit went like it felt like my sled had no suspension. Everything I hit just felt like a rock hard piece of concrete, and like that log or whatever that was, but.
Is that like is that kind of where Team 33? I seen they kind of hit like some ice shelf or something.
That was on Clearwater Lake, actually.
I don't know if I'm jumping ahead with that or we're.
No, that's behind at that point.
Oh.
Yep, yeah, that was on Clearwater Lake. So when we were talking that we couldn't see anything, we were like just turning left on the lake.
Yeah.
So they're locals up there because they're from Kotzebue. So I don't know if they had a route that they had rode like before the race or like a faster route, whatever. So they were a little ways off of where we were, and we hit like a tiny little like 6-inch ice shelf. And I don't know if that's where they did it or where it was, but yeah, apparently it came out of nowhere. I guess they couldn't see anything, but so it came out of nowhere, and they just wiped all the A-arms, like the bottom part of their sled just off.
Jeez. Yeah. That's unreal.
Yeah. So luckily we didn't find that same spot, or that would have been really bad because they must have just been cruising along and then boop, yep, there goes the skis.
Yeah. Gee. Craig did that one time down here in Park Rapids, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sheared the whole side of his sled off.
Oh, that was the 500 going into Bemidji.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
yep.
right on the lake, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down there on Ridge.
Yeah, you could probably see the finish line from where he'd crashed.
Yeah.
It was like 3 miles out. I felt terrible for him.
Oh, man.
I kind of remember he was leading the semi-pro class at that time.
Jeez.
I think he was in third. He just, because we started together that day, and he had took my spot in third, and so he was beating me. I think I might have been in fourth or dropped back to fifth, and then I come around the corner, and I'm like, oh shucks, Craig just totaled his sled out. I'm like, wait, that means I think I'm back on the podium. So I felt bad, but I was, it was like, yes, at the same time.
Yeah. Craig was a dark spot to that weekend because that's the same year that I got third in pro.
Yep.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He hasn't had much luck, or now he's finished the 500, but he hasn't had much luck at the 500, and that was like one of them that was like, no, you were so close, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3 miles out. Come on.
Yeah.
I would just run that. Say I finished it.
Yeah.
You're just throwing him on the back.
Yeah.
Ricky Bobby style.
Yeah.
Exactly. I have finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, are you coming into Nome yet? Like, because you were.
No.
It was a snowstorm.
We were in,
again, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Oh, it wasn't really. It was kind of a snowstorm, but so yeah, we got to Kotzebue. Stayed in a really nice hotel up there that they have. Left there, still snowing. Couldn't see anything. Like we made a really bad decision to not go over like the Kotzebue Sound, or I think that's what it was anyway. But a body of water, and Dylan, we both stopped, and Dylan's like, "Well, I think we should do it." And I'm like, "Dude, if there's open water out there, we can't see anything. I don't even know where to go to get to safety." So we did the cautious route and went along the shore all the way down to Buckland. Got into Buckland, and then like 40 miles out of Buckland, we're like, oh, you can start seeing the sun peek out just a little bit. So we were just hammered down like as fast as we could go. got to Koyuk, and then from Koyuk to White Mountain, we went over the sea ice. We went way out. Like, they saw some tracks, and they went like way out. I'm like, well, if somebody else did it, we should be just fine doing it. So we got out far enough that we could see open water, and we could see all the waves like crashing into the ice as we're racing down the ice.
Oh my god!
Damn.
That's scary.
I suppose you
The
don't,
iceberg.
you guys don't check ice depths at all.
No, we all stop, check it out, get the D-wall up there.
Yeah.
I listened to your podcast before that, and I didn't want to hurt any of the environment or like mess with anything natural.
Yeah,
So I didn't want to drill a hole in the ice.
You know, if you would have recorded it, you would have had like 1.5 million views on TikTok.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Dustin didn't see them when we were out there, but there was seals out there by the open water. It was kind of cool.
Huh.
Hell yeah, that's cool.
I was definitely sightseeing, and he was racing.
Yeah. I don't even know if I was racing. I was just like, well, if these guys keep going, like if this trail keeps taking us further out there, this is going to get really sketchy. And then we got in like some soft slushy ice. So I was definitely focused on what I was doing in front of me, and Dylan was just on vacation back there. And it helped too that his sled was faster than mine. So I was like pinned, like, yeah, I'm flying, and he's probably like 3/4 throttle, like, oh dude, did you speed it up? Like, I'm not even doing anything back here.
He was that much faster, really?
Yeah, it was at least 5 miles an hour faster. I could eat up time so fast. I could screw around, and then I just hammer on the throttle and catch him.
Dylan's just back there hitting drifts.
Yeah.
I did catch myself jumping some stuff once in a while. I was like, you know, it's gonna look really bad if I wreck my sled screwing around. So I should probably quit doing this.
Yeah. So I guess on the sea ice. So yeah, we were just cruising down the sea ice, and then we got into White Mountain, and everything was. I think we were still pretty clean, and we had a pretty fast time going through that. Obviously, we were just following somebody's trail that showed us exactly where we should go. And and then we got into a little bit of weather, but nothing bad, like nothing that was too bad. So we were pretty much hammered down all the way into Nome, and we got into some wind drifts and stuff, which is pretty, like that whole coastal area is kind of like the I-500 for us. Like the terrain is similar, not similar, but the jagged, like rough bumps are pretty similar. And this year was kind of like pretty smooth, so we had a pretty good time coming into Nome. And then, we got to Nome, and I don't even remember what position we were when we got to Nome. We were in a decent position, though, so we were pretty happy with that. And then got our day off, and, of course, we're all jacked up. Like, yeah, we get our day off, and we get Wi-Fi. We can call people. We can, like, do that podcast. And then we had no service, and we get to the hotel, and they had no Wi-Fi. So we went to the pizza place, and they had Wi-Fi, so I could at least text you and, like, inform you that we weren't going to be a part of it.
And so, I'm sure the pizza place was just packed with people just using their Wi-Fi.
Well, a lot of the guys have a GCI phone is what they call it, so they had service up there. That's actually how we had service from Team 26 in Uniclete. Is they hotspotted the phone for us. So
that's nice.
So what was it when you got to Nome? I seen something that your dad put on all the parts you guys changed in some crazy amount of time. What was that?
So somewhere in there, we had, I guess I missed that. We bent 2 tie rods. We're pretty sure it was in the burn somewhere when we hit like a tree or like a stump or something, and just kind of, it just jarred the handlebars quick and didn't even look at the sled, just kept riding. But we noticed that in McGrath, fixed that with just a pry bar, and just bent them back and kept going. And then we got into Nome, and we're doing our inspection, and we're like, okay, everything looks pretty good. And like, on my sled, the spindle, the bottom ball joint had like punched through, and I'm pretty sure it was from all the random stuff that I was hitting that I didn't see. So I was just smacking into stuff, and it blew the bottom ball joint right through the spindle. So the spindle was just kind of wobbling around there.
Jeez.
And then my top A-arm was bent. So our work session, we did a top A-arm on my sled. We did 2 spindles on my sled. And we did an exhaust can on my sled and Dylan's sled. We tightened up a bunch of bolts, put some duct tape on my windshield to help that.
No, we did the zip ties.
We did zip ties, but I put some duct tape on there just to cover it up. But what else did we do? Was there anything else?
Just a bunch of suspension bolts, checking them and tightening them.
Yeah, and obviously like chain case, track tension, check all that stuff. But we had Gage Shock and Cody Worley was on. Cody was on Team 30, and Gage was up there helping like all the Skidoo teams out. He's a good friend of ours, so they helped us, and that was awesome. So thanks to them guys, because like for us to try and tackle all that with just us two would have been a nightmare. So and those guys are awesome with the sleds. They know like exactly what they're doing. They know all the sizes of every bolt. So it's like boom, boom, boom. Like we're all doing stuff and just flying around getting stuff done. And I think it was it 24 minutes or 26 minutes that we did all that in?
23.
23?
Holy crap.
Yeah, it's cool when like somebody knows like the sled and every nut and bolt. Like Trevor was like that out in Lincoln last year when the guys did a motor swap on the sled.
Yeah.
And he was just working on the right side of the sled and somebody else was on the left side. He's like, I need a 10 and a 12 and a 14 extension right here. And then just like had the motor out in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And yeah. And when you're like, when we were there and we're flying so fast, it's like, I don't know how we didn't lose a wrench or lose like bolts or like all that stuff. But like tools are just flying around, getting thrown from one sled to the other. And yeah, it's crazy when you're like trying to go as fast as you can.
So then, like leaving Nome, where you guys were top 10. You were kind of running top 10 the whole halfway mark, right?
Yeah.
So then, leaving Nome, is it like, okay, let's try to pick it up a little bit, or is it like, okay, we're doing good, just maintaining top 10, or what were the thoughts leaving Nome?
I think on my side, I was like, okay, we're clean. Like we got all this stuff fixed. Like we were both like we weren't super happy. We had that long of a work session and had so much to fix because we had lost the position from that. So that kind of sucked. And then I was like, yeah, let's keep it clean and just keep going, and we can push when the weather's good and like go. And I think Dylan was kind of, I'm not going to speak for you, I guess, Dylan, but I feel like you had maybe a different thought sometimes.
I wanted the spot back pretty bad.
Yeah. Dylan was like he was super happy with me sometimes because I was like, hey, just let's calm down. Like we just got to keep moving. And he's like, let's go. I want to go. We need to get going.
Yeah. I know everybody said congratulations for 8th, but like somebody saying congratulations for 2nd in Pine Lake, it doesn't feel that good.
No, no, not at all. It sucks. It sucks really bad.
Well, it sucks because I know we had the speed to be in the top. Not considering there could have been other factors that would have happened at this point, but it felt like we had top 5 speed and keeping the sled together. But we could have done a little better. But it's just the inexperience. I think is the biggest thing that we can't be in that top 5 at this point or yet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And those guys are tough riders too. Like when you get up there, like the guys in the top 5, like we ran some good split times, like to match kind of theirs and their split times between certain villages. But like those guys are just constantly on it. Like they are going the whole time they're riding.
Yeah, like I seen some split times from somewhere to somewhere, and you guys were like 3rd in that certain split. So you're definitely putting in a good push there a few times I seen.
Yeah, I think we probably had 3 or 4 top 3 split times. And I would say some of that's kind of skewed because the checkers are kind of in charge of making sure them times come through. And some of them guys on the return out or back were coming in later. So I don't know if that's they got a report because they were outside of the first 10 guys coming in. So some of them, it's still cool to see your name in the top one.
You're kind of breaking up there a little bit, Dylan. Hello?
That's all right. I collected what we got going on. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Now it's better there. Yep.
Yep. No, it's cool to be in the top 3 once in a while. Feel like you deserve to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're actually in the competition. You're up for the money.
Yeah, and us following you guys, it was like, holy shit, they're doing it. They're really up there.
Look at them go.
It was really, really fun to be competitive compared to like last time when we were like more fighting ourselves than we were anything. Like with all the breakdowns we had and everything, we could never get ahead and we were losing sleep and like just getting frustrated. So this year was like, whoa, we're able to like keep up and come into the villages with these guys. And like when we go to bed at night, like we're actually sleeping and getting up, and I would adjust our layover like happily, not like, oh, we only get 6 hours here and we got to get going again. Nothing like that. So
I would say the best word for it is the first year we did it, it was just survival. And this year it was like, oh, we're kind of on pace.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it actually felt like a race instead of just trying to survive.
Not a survival.
Yeah.
Yeah, which it still is. I think that's something that Dylan might forget sometimes is like, hey, dude, if we do like push it here and we do break something, like we are absolutely every meaning of the word fuck.
There's not 20 cars going to be passing you like alongside the road 5 miles from the
With an
casino.
AR.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the positive side is there's nobody there to watch it either.
Yeah.
True.
Just people on the tractors. You don't get the eyes.
Yep. You get to tell the story. Nobody else is.
That fish was huge.
So yeah, then leaving Nome, like, was it just, so yeah, Dustin kind of wanted to maintain a little bit and Dylan wanted to push.
Yeah, and I mean, we were both pushing. Like, I wasn't like sitting there, with my cruise control set at 35 miles an hour. But I don't think we had pretty good times coming out of Nome too, because we got into White Mountain, and then we got past White Mountain where Team 14 had started their sled on fire, and they left right behind us, and we came into Koyuk right behind them. So like we had a pretty good run there, and then same thing, fast team. So they just kind of slowly go off in the distance. But yeah, we were good there, and coming back, I think we did all right getting back to Unacleat and then getting back to the Yukon. Then of course, a couple of the top teams pushed on to get to Ruby that night, and we stayed in Galena, and we're like, okay, we'll leave in the morning. And then of course the morning is bright, sunny, great, and we leave like 2 hours later, and it's a ground storm or a ground blizzard, and we're like, oh, this is great. Now we get to go through this again. And so then we got into Ruby, and everybody's parked there, and we're like, well, we're not going if nobody else is going. Like, what's going on up ahead? Like, why is everyone stopping? So we declared a layover there, and we got into I don't even know what you'd call it, but everybody just kind of like holds and waits for somebody to go.
The Moose Fuel Shack.
Like, they're waiting for somebody to go first and like break trail or what?
Yeah. So there's talks that they got like 2 to 4 feet of snow in certain areas, like after that, while we were gone. So between like Foreman and Ophir, that spot that's like super rough and takes forever. So between wanting the trail broke, like, so they weren't getting slowed down by the deep snow, and also the fear of running out of gas. So they were everyone was holding up, waiting for 5 or 6 teams to go through, and us and the guys that were riding around us like stayed in the shed there, and we're all like, well, when are you guys gonna go? Because like we'll try and get out like around when you guys are going. So we were all kind of doing our own little game plan behind what like the top 5 teams were doing to try and like figure out when the trail was gonna be in the middle where it was packed down, but it wasn't getting rough yet. So then we left there behind, like, I think there was 4 or 5 teams that went out ahead of us. So we got through that and passed a couple teams to Foreman, and then hit Ophir, or going from Foreman to Ophir, like I said before, is like a really long stretch. So with all that snow, and then we were taking a different route, because when we were on our way up, the expedition class, actually, they were, I forget what the name of the river is, drawing a blank on it, but they were coming up the river out of Ophir, and they actually sank a couple sleds in the river, and they had to push their SOS button and get somebody to get them out of the water.
Is that
was the Anoco?
Is that the picture
Yep.
that I seen where the guy is like in the water, chest deep, and he's standing on his sled? Is that
No.
spot or no?
No, that's coming yet.
Oh, okay.
That's
You know, So
gnarly.
this spot, it was like we all got through pretty good, but then the expedition class, I don't really know the whole story, but there's a ton of rumors that flew around, but it sounded like they maybe went further than we did down the Anoco, and they got into where it was all overflow water. So they were thinking like they had sleds stuck in like 2 feet of snow and 4 feet of water. So you're never getting them things out. And they had a few of them stuck, and then I don't know what happened, but they were building a fire and they were pushing their SOS button, and there was like everybody said there's people like coming out to save them. There's people in helicopters and all kinds of stuff.
That's
So
scary.
I wouldn't want to be in that. If it gets to the point where I'm pulling out a lighter, I'm going to be pretty nervous.
Yeah, you got to try to build a fire. Like, oof, that's not where you want to be.
Yeah, especially when you just sank your sled in the river and you're probably soaked head to toe, and you're like, well, if I don't get a fire built, I'm probably not going to be able to help much longer.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's when it does turn into a survival situation. It's no longer a race.
Yeah.
Like, you're just trying to survive.
Yeah, like we need to do something here. But yeah, so we got back to that section and all that stuff that we had already heard the story. So of course, with all the top 5 teams holding back in Ruby, you had guys that didn't know the trail as good. Were breaking the new trail, and like we went down the overland trail, which is super rough, like sucks to be on. And then they cut back to the Anoco, so we actually cut back into where. Like, we weren't down to where all those guys had sank their sleds, but we were back in that river where there was tons of overflow, like 4 or 5 feet of snow. And we're just mountain riding down this river, like on these short track sleds. And you don't want to stop because as soon as you stop, you're sinking. But like the snow so we were plowing through snow and like a foot to 2 feet of water and just burning fuel like crazy. So I was getting nervous about that. I'm like, this has got to stop because this isn't going to be good. Like, there's no way we're making it like this.
I think we put on like 10 extra miles of track spin on that stretch is what I figured out.
So when you're behind him in that watery slush there, Dylan, are you running right down Dustin's line, or are you kind of weaving back and forth?
Yeah, to be honest, there wasn't really much. Like, you're just trying to keep the sled moving forward momentum. But I would say there's 3 or 4 other teams in front of us, so you had different tracks to go on. But the tracks were actually harder to follow than just going down the fresh snow. So the tracks would throw you all over the place, and you kind of start getting all over the sled where you don't want to fall off, and obviously have some problems that some of the other guys had. But it was harder to follow tracks than it was to just go plow your own line. So it was nerve wracking in the fact that, like you said, you're worried about how much fuel you got running through all the fresh snow. And like I said, we put on like another 10 miles, and it was on just track spin, and it was all deep snow anyway.
But do you guys carry like extra fuel with you on the sled? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we had a 3.5 gallon auxiliary tank that was plumbed in, so we had a little more than the trail tank would hold.
That's not that
Yeah,
much.
I think like 15 and a half, 16 gallons is what we carried.
I'd carry like just a 20-ounce bottle with me just in case. Extra.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we didn't even mention that part, but when we were running behind 14, we'd stopped on the ocean to take a piss, and just because they were going to be at the fuel pump. And when we came up the hill to the fuel pump and stopped, both of our sleds died because we ran out of fuel.
Holy shit! That's cutting it close.
Yeah.
And we were full.
Yeah, I forgot all about that part. So yeah, that was not fun.
Jeez.
I remember, speaking of cutting it close on fuel, racing the 500 back in the day on vintage sleds.
We're not talking about that.
Oh, no.
Bad memories.
Yeah, but I'd always carry a little quart of oil, but I'd fill it with fuel.
Yeah.
And then on the river sections, I'd fucking reach back in the trunk and squeeze it into the tank.
While you were going?
Yeah, while I was going. Throw it back in the trunk and keep going. That reminded me of that, yeah.
just to make it a little further.
Yeah, to make it to Gonvick. Yeah.
That's the secret.
Yeah. That was another little secret. But you got to be
We
talented.
ran with our extra auxiliary tanks just on the back of the sled, and everybody looked at us like we were crazy for a few years there. But I remember making some fuel stops because of them.
Yeah, right. You're cutting it close.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing says I'm racing really hard, like running out of fuel and sitting there with a jerry can that has no vent, just shaking it so it would dump faster. Like, just takes everything out of you.
Yeah.
So yeah, burning fuel to beat hell in the deep snow, hoping you have enough to get it to the next stop.
Yeah. And then we get into Ophir, and we're like, oh, we were riding pretty hard and like tons of snow, like we're working pretty hard, and we're like, hey, you got water? And the checker there's like, no, I got Monster. And we're like, sweet.
That's exactly what I want.
That's exactly what I want to just take a whole big gulp of right now. It's a big ball of sugar.
That was terrible. If I could go back to that moment, I would not drink anything.
Yeah, and the worst part is, like, Monster's a pretty distinct taste, so it's like we were burping it up, like you could taste it in your breath, like for the next 60 miles. It was just nasty. You're like, nope, that was terrible.
I got a Monster.
Yeah. You're thirsty as fuck. Here's a Monster.
Yeah.
Super dehydrated. I love nothing more than to slam a Monster down right now.
As if your heart rate's not already high enough going into the fuel stop.
Right. Yeah, and then I guess after that we got back into McGrath, and I don't think we had anything to fix there that time around. We got in. We adjusted our layover in the morning because we wanted to leave. Same thing. We wanted to leave a little bit behind some guys because there's some more trail to break. So we moved our layover back an hour, but we used up our one. You can switch layover one time northbound and one time southbound. So we used that up. So it's like, well, this should be our last stop. So we'll use up our layover, our layover change. So we left a little later, and we had everything went good to Nikolai. We saw Team 33. That sucks for those guys. We saw where they had.
That was after Nikolai.
Oh, that was after Nikolai.
Yep.
So yeah, because Team 14 was behind us than Nikolai yet. But yeah, after Nikolai, we found those guys and they're on the trail and they're like, "Hey, you got a lower A-arm?" And I'm like, "No, we only got an upper." And their sleds were like, the shock was ripped off. Like they had a lot of damage.
That's tough.
They needed more than an A-arm.
Yeah. So after we got going there, and then 14 had got around us, and we kept moving down. I don't think anything really happened there, and then we got to the burn, and we get into the burn, and now there's like 3 inches of snow, so it would cover up all the hazards and like the little stumps and everything. So Dylan ended up hitting a tree and bent his A-arm pretty badly. So I'm waiting like on a lake because I wasn't looking back for a while, and I'm like, "What's going on?" And then of course the thoughts just start rolling like, "Oh boy. Oh, he's not coming. Oh, this sucks." And then he comes over, and I see his ski just flopping in the wind. I'm like, "Oh no!" And so I'm all pissed off, and I'm like, "Oh, you had to do that. You had to hit a tree," just yelling at him. And he's like, "What do you want me to do? Like, you've been hitting stuff this whole time." so we go, and we made it like probably 5 more miles, and I hit this tree that was at like a 45 in the trail, and it whips my sled into the woods, and I fly off, smoke my head on the ground, get stuck under my sled, and Dylan comes up, and he's like, "Hey." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You gonna get up?" I'm like, "No, I can't. I'm stuck under my sled." He's like, "Oh, okay." And then I was like, I got up, and I'm like, "You know what? Screw this race. This sucks. I just want to go home." I hit my head hard enough, and I was like, "I'm done with it." And then, and then I'm sure he's just laughing in his helmet. Like, "Oh, you shoot my ass."
I was laughing pretty good. I'm like, "Wow, Karma caught up to you pretty quick, buddy."
Yeah. Dustin's like, "I just can't wait to drive 2,500 miles back home."
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we got past all that, and we get into back down into Roan, and once again, everybody's parked. And so we're like, okay, well, I guess we'll park here too. And we sat in the little like camp that they had set up there. Really cool camp out in the mountain range, but not big enough for all of us teams that were trying to fit in there.
The views were great. The accommodations were subpar.
So yeah, we were in there, and then all of a sudden, like a couple teams had went because there's another, like, it was rumored that the Trail to Whiskey Bravo was like 4 feet of snow, and like guys are on wide tracks, and there was pictures of them getting stuck. I think it was Mark McKenna was out, and he had like a super wide expedition or something, and he had gotten that stuck. And we're like, well, how are we going to make it through with a bunch of race sleds that like aren't made for this stuff? So we're stopped there. A couple of the other teams, I think it was Team 15, Team 6, Team 15, yeah, Team 6 and Team 22 that had already went. Maybe 22 hadn't gone yet. I don't remember. But we're all waiting for them. You what?
22 went after us, I believe, but 15, 16 and 15 had went before us, and I got to give 16 a shout out because Chris does not care about nothing. That guy loves deep snow. And I think an award that should be thought about up there is the Trailbreaker Award for guys that run the most miles in the front, because Chris didn't care. He'd run anything.
Just
and then that
deep
Team
shit.
15, Team 15, they got the nickname the Adventure Boys because they were just like, yeah, we don't care, we'll go. It's like, okay, sweet. These guys will get after it. We'll just wait for them to do it then.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Team 15 was that team that they tried to cross over the river, and it was just open water flowing like crazy. And we don't really know the story on it, but they had crossed over and sank their sled. And there's a picture rolling around on Facebook of the guy that sank his sled. He was standing on his feet, and just his head was out of the water with maybe a little bit of his shoulders.
Yeah, that was the one I had seen.
That's the picture you've seen, yep.
Yep, and then
And that's all.
Yeah,
that's not just water either. That's a flowing river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first, I thought he was just standing there, and then I seen somebody's comment that he was standing on his sled there as well.
That's scary as hell.
Yeah. It was buried so deep in the water that we went over it and never even knew we went over it.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so luckily when that happened, Team 16 was right there, so they threw a rope out to the guy and helped him like swim back into shore, and like, hey, they ran back to camp where we were all sitting, and they told everybody like, hey, these guys just went in the water, like we need somebody to like go help them or like whatever. So we technically couldn't leave on our sleds because then you'd be back on time and be penalized. So one of the guys there called the Iron Dog office, got a hold of them, and Team 30 offered to be the team that would go out and help them. So they went off the clock, and they went out and they picked them up and brought them back to camp so at least they could get warmed up again and like get some dry clothes on.
So then,
we're all
to have to water skip across where a team had just sunk their sleds. What were your, like, you had to have been nervous crossing that.
Yeah, we weren't saying much when we were leaving that checkpoint because all that stuff had already come out. Like, everyone was already talking about it, and we're like, oh, this isn't great. Like, this isn't going to be very much fun. So then we get to that point, and we had actually gone where other people had gone up to, like, the top of this ice ridge and then backed up. We backed a ways up and then got a good run at it. And it wasn't too bad, but, other teams had already hit the ice ridge on the other side of the river. So it was already, like, kind of packed down. So we just kind of, like, went on the water, skipped a little bit, and then hit the other side and just bounced up and kept going. So it wasn't bad for us, but we could already see and we already heard what people had like done wrong. So
yeah, and you're watching the trackers too, when you're watching these guys go in front of you. You kind of watch and pay attention to the trackers to see which way they're going and make sure they're not having problems in front of you. Yeah, so it kind of eases your mind when you can see some guys got past the point of where somebody else went in the water or had problems.
Yeah, you know it's
but yeah,
possible.
we got through all that. But yeah, we got through all of that stuff down the river. It was pretty good, and then we actually rode with like Team 10, and we knew those guys were Ryan Sodasani and Chris Olds. Like, those guys are vets. Chris has won I think 4 times, and like they're great riders. So we kind of tucked in behind them, and we're like, well, if they take a route, it must be the right one. So let's just follow them down the river. And so we followed them down, got back in the trees, went through the mountain pass, jumped out to Rainy Pass, went into where all the snow was going into Whiskey Bravo, and I think everything was good. There was nothing that really happened in all of that. Got into Whiskey Bravo and got assigned to our tonics box.
Didn't you get that one tree and go through the limbs there, or was that 26?
Oh, yeah. Well, 26 had already made a route that was questionable. So Tim Gossett said he came down and went through like the side of this huge pine tree and blew like all the, like he went right through it. Kind of like I did that year in the 500 gunner.
Yep.
Where I just blew like the bottom half of the tree off.
Yeah.
So he'd already made the line through there. So when I was sliding down the hill, I seen it and I'm like, oh, I'm going right for it. And of course my sled's just sliding down the mountain, like into it. And I'm like, well, been here before, but luckily he had already taken all the branches off for me. So it wasn't too bad to get through. But yeah, got into Whiskey Bravo, got assigned our Connex box, or a little place to stay with 4 beds in it. We got Team 3, which we had met already on the trail, and they were good guys. So we were kind of like happy. We're like, oh yeah, we at least we know the guys we're staying with, and they fed us really good there. We had some good food.
Lasagna.
Yeah, lasagna and garlic toast and everything. So that was nice.
Got a carb load, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the last day we were kind of we were excited to get home, but like we were ready to like all right, we got to catch 26. Like they were the guys that got it. They got us in Nome when during that work session. We had been riding like right with them this whole race. We're like, we got to get them. So we're going, and once again I throw my arm up when we're going down the Squetna River, like the little section that we were allowed to go down, and I threw my hand up and Dylan slowed down because I threw my hand up because I hit something. Well, he slowed down just enough to hit it at the speed you don't want to hit it at. So he hit that, blew his side panel, or like cracked the side panel, broke it off. So he was going back to find that. I had no idea. So I turned around again and I'm like, same thing, panic sets in. I'm like, oh great, here we go. And he comes up and he had side panel back on. We got going again and got back into the woods, and there was so much snow out there, it wasn't even funny. Like if you got off trail, you were done for.
It was the packed trail. Is what you were riding on, is single track, but the snow on like the fresh snow that wasn't on the packed trail was as deep as your handlebars at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. Holy crap. So yeah, just a one line to follow.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you got we got in some spots where it wasn't quite that deep, so when you the trail didn't pack down as deep, so when you went off, it was like 4 or 5 feet down of just powder snow, and Dylan had got stuck down in just barely turned off the trail, and it pulled him down, and I don't know how long it took us to get out of there, but that thing was freaking buried in snow.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then we got back on the sleds. Dylan I was on top of the hill and I had to walk down to help him. So we had to ride 2 up a side hill. So I jump on and of course he just hammers it. And I'm like, this is so bad. We just smoked the bump at the bottom. We fly up the hill. I jump on my sled and then we went down. We kind of talked like, all right, let's just settle down. We just need to make it in. And we went through Shell Lake, got into Squetna. We asked them like, hey, how far is 26 ahead of us? They told us, and we're like, yeah, there's no way we're gonna catch them. Like they got us now. Now we're in their home turf for sure, like where they had rode the trail a ton of times, and we only had 2 rides on it. So like, yep, they got us now. So that kind of sucked for that last 80 miles to know we're not gonna get them anymore.
Yeah. Like you were in 8th at that point then probably. Did you have a pretty good gap back to 9th then?
Yeah, we had 45 minutes to an hour or something like that.
Oh, so yeah, then you're just kind of out there on your own island then.
Set it on cruise control, yeah.
Yeah, and I was on cruise control. Dylan was not, so I was going a little slower, and that's when he just blew by me on the river like, dude, I'm going. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess we're going. Like, I thought we were just going to be chill, but we're not chill yet. We got through
I don't ride good at 75%. I ride worse at 75%. So I'd hit stuff and it'd almost throw me off. I'm like, I haven't crashed in 2,400 miles, and it's not going to happen in the last 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, we rode in from there and everything. We got back down the Big Lake Trail. We found the trail this year. Last time we had almost gotten lost trying to get off the river because we didn't know where we were going. But yeah, we found the trail this year. Pretty easy because we actually test rode it and knew where we were going and had a GPS track for it and everything. So we got through that, got back to the finish line, and of course, this ice fog blew in on like just the lake. Like it was beautiful sunny everywhere else, and it was just the lake had this ice fog all over. And we come in and we got lost on the lake trying to find the finish line.
Oh, jeez.
So they had like this, I don't know if it was like a little hockey game or something going on the other side. Like, I think it'd be the north side of the lake, and the finish line was on the south side. So we drive up to this because we see cars and everything parked everywhere. And I'm like, oh, this is not where we're supposed to be. So everyone's like waving, like signaling, like, go over there, you know. So we finally find the finish line, and Dylan was aiming right for it. And I'm like, no, dude, like, come over here. That way they don't see how lost we are. Like, we'll go into the snow dust again and then come in the right way. So that way we look like not like idiots.
Yeah, why did that team come from the other direction? Where the hell are they coming from?
Yeah, we weren't the only ones either. So
no, but it just like, look at those idiots from Minnesota. They don't even know how to get around Big Lake.
Huh?
Yeah. So yeah, we made it into the finish line there, and both of our wives and our sister and our dad were up there. So yeah, they greeted us at the finish line, and a lot of the other racers were waiting, which is really cool. And Team CC and everybody stopped, shook our hands, and said good job. So it's really cool to like see people again that you knew. So that was nice.
Huh? Heck yeah! To finish, yeah. Because last year, like you said that you kind of fought it the whole time, just fought to the end, and then now this time you're actually racing all the way to the end, and to actually have a good finish had been awesome.
yeah, so we towed 2 years ago. We towed from like 40 miles out of Foreman to Ophir to McGrath is like 120 miles, 120 miles, something like that. So to ride through that under power was a lot more fun this year.
Yeah, you got to actually experience it for yourself. You're not just getting pulled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say we probably got more sleep every night than we did the whole loop from Nome to Kotzebue to home at 2 years ago when we rode. Like we only got like 9 hours of sleep that whole ride.
Oh God, damn! I couldn't even imagine.
So yeah, it was way nice this year. But we did like a ton of like research and like not really testing because we couldn't test, but obviously listening to everybody that was helping us, and like Team 30, Team 7, Team 5, and all the guys at Team CC were like super helpful with helping us get our sled set up and not have the issues that we had before. So we had probably the best built sleds that I've ever like been a part of putting together. Like everything was just perfect on them. Like they were way lighter than our sleds from before, so they're easier to ride. And like obviously we carried a lot less unnecessary stuff. So our sleds are lighter, so we weren't breaking torsion springs and like stuff like that. So.
Heck yeah. Yeah. Eighth place finish. I'm damn proud of you guys for that. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, we were 15 hours faster than we were 2 years ago, so that's what I'm proud of.
Oh, hell yeah. God damn, that's insane to beat yourself by 15 hours. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good feeling. Like, it was like, okay, like that was our main goal, is like, we got to beat our last time. Like, that was so terrible. We just got to make sure we beat that. So to beat it by that much is like, okay, I think we both know we have room for improvement from where we were this year. Like, we can be faster, I think, and we can be way more prepared. Unfortunately, there's no snow down here this year, but like we could have been a lot faster, maybe not a lot, but still a little more.
Yeah. So that brings me to the question of, so you guys had a good finish this year. Are you going back again next year for it?
To be decided.
How much of a credit card limit you got, Gunner?
Well, I'm on a 2-place trailer, so it's not very high.
Okay, so if you get all three of you guys together, your credit cards, our credit cards, we might be able to get it done.
Yeah, I think I could pitch you $20 or something.
All right,
We're going to buy prime rib and McGrath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you bring me back a moose antler.
There you go. We'll have to look for it.
Do some shit.
It'll be our Kyle Grover sponsored timeout during the race.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Well, a guy gave us $20 for a moose antler, so we're just kind of driving around.
Moose sheds.
We're looking for sheds over here.
Yeah.
So
Just put Robbie on that task.
Yeah, Robbie'd find one.
So that's the deciding factor is it's to be determined for next year.
I think we'd leave it at that. I mean, it's not. I don't know if we're for sure going to do it or not, but the money thing is definitely like it's really expensive. Like, the race is awesome. I'd love to do it every year for as long as I can do it, but it's just the money thing. The time away from home's not super enjoyable either. Like being away from the kids and the wife and like all that. It kind of sucks. It kind of wears on you after like all that time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. If you guys don't do it, I'm sure everybody will be happier than heck to see you back at the cross country races.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice if there wasn't all like ice races. Like if we got some snow, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, for sure. We seen Craig down there last weekend.
Yeah, Craig was at Nadawash. He was having fun.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
have to come bang.
No.
We'll have to come bang bars with you guys next year in Pine Lake, though, because you guys are having way too much fun on the old stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah,
the old stuff is where it's at. It's been seeming like lately.
Yep.
There's getting to be a lot of attention around it. So I'm excited to.
Yeah, that triple class sounds awesome.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we were going to talk about with you guys. Like if you guys were maybe planning on building something at all.
I don't think we're gonna just let a ZRT win. I mean, I would really like to buy one. It's it's so cheap to get into. Like buying these old sleds, like it's not cheap to like to do all the work, but like these sleds are so cheap to buy and just go out and race. So it's like, yeah, we could probably get something done there.
Yeah, because you have that MXZ 440 that you guys were head ready for Pine Lake this year, pretty much. But then being Pine Lake got pushed back, you guys weren't able to make it. So that thing's ready to go, though, isn't it?
Sure, kinda. Sure. So yeah, when Pine Lake got pushed back, we have all the parts and everything to put it back together, but we kind of just pushed it in the corner. Like, all right, that thing's not going to run right now. So let's just get back to the Iron Dog thing and worry about going to there. So
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but yeah, we have it, so we'll bring that next year too.
Being the triple stuff, and how we were talking about it was so cheap and stuff. I have full intention, if it does have speed, this will be a pro open machine next year at Pine Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna enter in pro open, make it run fucking 10 laps. I don't care.
But what if if you run it 10 laps on Saturday, Kyle, and then our like triple races on Sunday?
Yeah.
What if it breaks down on Saturday?
So that's the thing. I bought this sled for
Buy a second one. It's easy solution.
I'm telling you right now, I bought this thing for $1,700.
Yeah.
And it came with enough parts to build a whole nother one and then plus some for $1,700. So I think we're good in that department.
Sure.
Yeah.
Isn't that somewhat concerning though when you buy a sled that comes with enough parts to fix everything that's going to break?
They break. They all break. We know that they all break.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's the full intent. $1,700 machine pro open.
There you go. That's how it should be though. Like I don't know. I think there'd be so many more racers out there if it was a little bit cheaper to buy some of this stuff and like go and race.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be able to prove a point with that. If we can run mid pack with a 96 ZRT for $1,700, I mean that should prove a point that anybody can go out and do it.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall in some of them bigger teams' trailers with all the money and the mods.
Yeah,
go blowing by them on the straigeway.
Yeah,
I was just gonna add that I will not be entering the Pro Open class at Pine Lake because there's no way I'm getting beat by a 96 ZRT on a brand new sled like that. Could you imagine that thing flying by you just screaming like, "Oh, yeah, this isn't fun."
Yeah, that's how I feel about my brother. I mean, he that old 2000 Gen 2, and he won sport improved with it or whatever, and it's like, There's 30 guys with brand new machines, and Colin's winning on a fucking Gen 2 Polaris. Like, he bought that sled for $800. I hope that doesn't deter anybody from racing, but
or buying new sleds.
Yeah, it just goes to prove that you can have fun on cheap stuff. You know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, I was happy to see that they had, like, what was it, 12 entries in classics?
Yeah, 12 entries. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's all the Shop Talk podcast raising all the prices on all these vintage sleds. All these people buying them up to race the classic class.
You can't buy a 98, 97 XCR for like under $4,000 now. And I swear it's because of this goddamn 97 class at Pine Lake.
Yeah.
I seen the one posting on Facebook had two XCR 440s, and they wanted $10,000 for the pair of them.
Yeah,
a bunch of extra parts, and I was like, wow. And I don't know why somebody would do this, but they raced them at the ditch banger class and beat the crap out of them there.
Yeah. I think the ditch banger national also has something to do with it.
Yeah,
these old sleds
probably because they are fast. I mean, my lap times on my 98 700 to this 97 440 were like 4 seconds off or something. So they're fast.
Oh.
But
should add for you, Kyle, is I got third at Ditch Banger National, so I know a thing or two about old sleds.
Well, better show up to Pine Lake next year. I know your old man was talking about a 94 XCR 600.
Yeah, we got a half-year demo sled.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got two of those at 600s.
There you go. There's your triple machines. And
I don't think those are going to come out of the shed and hit a racetrack ever again.
Well,
the one got a little beat up the last time it was out, like 8 years ago. So Dad wasn't super happy about that one ever touching a race course again.
I've got a small army of 95 and 96 triples, but I think I'll be on a Formula 3 600.
Okay, yeah,
year, so.
Yeah, that's a sweet machine. But I know Wes Smith. We talked about this at the beginning of the episode. Wes Smith, who used to race for Pro 5 back in the day, when the 94 600s come out, the limited sleds or whatever, he said he got 117 miles an hour out of one of them fucking monoblocks at Pine Lake in 94.
Jesus, those things they're crazy fast. And I don't know what's different. I've heard that like they put the helix out of the Storm and the gearing out of the Storm into that sled, and like they are by far faster than like a 95.
Yeah.
Huh, weird.
Yeah, I don't really understand it either.
Like I would have to say with our ZRT, I'd be happy with 115.
That's pushing it.
You don't think we'll be able to get that?
Well, I expect 112 out of mine. You know, that's kind of what I'm aiming for.
I don't know. Our baseline run was pretty good I think the stingers we put on there right now, I think actually dropped mile an hour. So we're going to do a test tomorrow to put stock stuff back on there, see what it does.
I think Kyle already gave you that tech tip that the stingers actually make them things slower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're going to try a few things
without actual pipes, you know, cuz you're just totally rerouting the factory shit.
Yep.
Is what you're doing.
Yep. 100%. So that's what I told Dad instantly. I was like, maybe it needs the back pressure of having that big suitcase stock muffler in there. So yeah, I don't know. I'd shoot for 115.
That's moving.
Did you put a new track on it yet?
Yeah, it's got a brand new hacksaw 1 inch in there.
Okay.
And
yeah, I was gonna say that's sketchy.
The way Chad made it sound is like that you could almost put any track you wanted in there, but like I'd be okay if he said 1 inch across the board, because you could go a speed track in there, but if there's any snow on Pine Lake at all this next year, anything less than like a 1 inch is pretty sketchy on snow.
Yeah. Yep.
So like,
What? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, with the speeds that we're seeing already now with the 1 inch in there, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to.
And there's not that much difference in the weight between a hacksaw and then like a strictly R enduro track.
Yeah.
You know, the half-inch lug or whatever they are. There's not that much big of it. I think it's like a pound or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
And then you'd have to deal with T-nuts and
Yeah.
Screw that.
Makes a headache. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was Chad was down at Natowash this weekend, and we were talking to him, and we named off at least like 10 people that we know of or that are pretty sure that are building triples.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'd say it should be more popular than the 440 class.
Yeah, probably.
It'd be cool if it was per rider, too.
One at a time now, guys. Dustin, say
I
whatever
was
you
saying
just
it would be cool. I was saying it would be cool if it was per rider, you know, like everybody's got to bring their own sled rather than a team race, and keep the team race for the 440s.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah.
The triple class will be individual, just one person race, and then I think the team race 440 is being reviewed, to be determined on if they're going to change anything on that or not.
But it sounds like there will be a 440 race.
Yeah, there will be a 440 race of some sort, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Or have to buy another one of them.
You can go find the next one. We found this one, so I don't know. I don't know if you'll find another 97 MXZX, maybe, but
Yeah,
hopefully it's in a little better shape than the one we got.
I found
I
that
find one of the
for
older
Dustin.
ones. Yeah. I find one of them older ones that are built for speed, not bumps.
I got a 79 LT Gray sitting in the shed. That's a
That's
440.
that's too old. That's
No.
too old.
86
Yeah,
miles an
not-
hour. That's a good.
I was talking like a year. I was talking like a year or two older, not 20.
They go. They go.
Yeah. We raced some of the old vintage stuff too. Our dad is kind of a John Deere collector, so
Mm.
yeah. After we raced him the last time, he said we weren't allowed to touch him anymore.
Rick said,
Well,
"You guys are
every
just-"
time we raced one, it was
Rick was just saying to you guys, you're wrecking way too much of my stuff.
Mhm.
every race there was something broke, and it like the one like the airbox, sucked in the foam and then got stuck in the carb, and like we blow belts and like they just break down everywhere. It's like, yeah, we aren't really putting enough time into these things to even be racing them.
Jeez. But yeah, that's so yeah, that was a good recap, guys, on the Iron Dog.
Yeah, it was great.
It so does that interest you in Colin doing it, Kyle?
Well,
or-
Colin sent me the expedition class, and it's like,
Just do the whole thing. It's the same money. Just do the whole thing. It's the same money anyway.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of looking at it. It'd be kind of cool because we were into the drag racing stuff. We got into the cross country stuff. We did a lot of the ice Le Mans, and then it's like top tier is the fucking Iron Dog. You know, it's like, do we do it or don't we do it just to say we did it? You know, but I'm leaning towards no.
Tell you what, if I beat you at Pine Lake next year, you got to go.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
There you
yeah,
go.
We'll make that bet. We'll make it. Yeah. Yeah.
in the triple class? Is that the
Triple class.
Any class
Okay. Oh, Pro Open.
for hoping. No,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't think I'll have an open sled. So
But I'm running the 96 ZRT. I mean, you could pretty much bring anything. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you can run Pro Open if you want, but I'm just not going to enter then. I know how this game works.
I don't know. The new Skidoos are pretty darn fast, you
yeah.
guys.
Yeah, we've seen it.
That's
They
what I
are
heard.
fast. Get an RS.
Well, then maybe I'm just out of shape because I'm not fast on ice.
Get an RS, and yeah, that'll be the ice sled.
Dylan has an RS.
Actually, I was just going to say that. I actually have a 19, but it doesn't. I can't fit a big trail tank on it, so I haven't ever done anything with it to race cross country. So
Sure.
that's my play sled for the spring, doing hill cross stuff and hill climb stuff. So
Yeah.
Getting into that, do you think they're going to do any of that hill cross stuff this year?
yeah, I talked to Andy yesterday. They're for sure going to have Giants Ridge. Detroit Lakes is kind of leaning towards no because obviously they're in that area where there's no snow and a lot of warmth.
Mm-hmm.
But they were looking for a backup location, and sounds like he has a lot of problems with all these old snowcross series being at these ski hills. So rebuild the trust, but they put on really good deals with everything. So
Is Giants Ridge, is that in Bawabec?
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, that's
Right
right.
by-
That was.
pretty close to Hibbing, Minnesota. There,
Yeah.
Might have to make a trip.
Yeah, I know they.
that's a blast.
Somebody I knew went down to the one they had in Detroit Lakes last year,
Yeah.
and they said it was really popular.
Well, didn't Jesse go and
yeah,
race?
yeah, he raced down there. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. I raced the hillcross stuff, and then some of the shearing sleds were up there, and it was kind of. I was on my 19, and I don't belong on a hillcross course to, against snowcross guys, but it was fun to beat some of them big team sleds up the hill. Beat the Amsoil sled up the hill. You're like, well, that was kind of neat.
Yeah, well, if they do have any this year, we'd be interested in going. I left my 2020 in trail mode all year just so, if there was ever a ditch race, but yeah, we'll see. I'd like to get some miles on that thing this year, but it's not looking good.
No, not at all.
Just don't do hillcross with it because it'll hurt it.
Yeah, I don't.
If you're going to compete, you got to go wide open.
It's going to be for sale.
Take that LT gray up the hill.
No, I got a sweet XCR you guys should buy. 2020 600, never been abused.
Wife ridden.
Yeah,
Weekends only.
wife ridden, 1,200 miles on it.
Michigan miles only.
Yeah, Michigan miles only.
Yeah.
I'll even paint the aftermarket rivets that I put in it.
Sharpie marker.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, anything else for the Dohrn brothers, Brody?
How many moose or bears did you see? If any?
I think we counted 3 or 4 moose. We've seen more stuff on like the drive going up and back. The trail you don't see a lot because there's so many sleds in front of you that kind of scare everything off. But the drive going up and back, we've seen quite a few different animals too.
Yeah, there wasn't,
I would say,
the seal and the moose. There wasn't a whole lot of other wildlife that we had seen.
I've seen one fox when we were coming into Nome. That's when I was out in La La Land.
It looked like the drive. You guys seen a lot of buffalo though.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, buffalo, caribou, wolves, some coyotes when we were back down like in the southern part of Canada. I don't know what else we've seen.
Heck yeah.
I don't think there's anything else.
Pretty damn cool.
Yeah. Well, okay. Thanks for doing this, guys. I'm sure people enjoy hearing kind of a different perspective of the Iron Dog.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was a fun race. It's fun to recap it and talk about it. But yeah, it's a cool race. It'd be cool to get more guys from down here to actually kind of have a little more interest and think about going up there and racing it because it's a once in a lifetime kind of experience.
Yeah, and I'm actually going up. I fly up Thursday to go race Mayor's Cup this weekend, so I'm not completely done with the season yet either.
And what exactly is that you're going up there to do, Dylan?
So in the pro class, I see it's like a 200-mile cross country race, and from what I can tell and understand, is it's the closest to what we would do down here. But it's a 25-mile lap. Pros run 8 laps, and the semi-pros run 6 laps. So I'm going to go up and I got one of the guys from Team 30, Cody, is borrowing me a sled, and I don't know why, but he is.
And tell him you better put insurance on it.
But I hope he knows that if he ever wants to come down here, he's got a free ride to ride down here too. So I really appreciate that. But it was kind of when Todd canceled his race, I'm like, well, I've got air miles because we canceled the flight, and I've always wanted to go do it, and there's no telling if he'll do it next year, so why not?
Huh? Yeah, heck yeah, that'll be cool. That's right up your alley, kind of the short course cross country stuff.
Yeah, and I know I talked to a few guys, and they've told me it's the roughest race they've ever ran in their life. So we'll see.
Yeah, on a borrowed sled.
Yeah, that poor sled.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple guys that we couldn't manage to catch an iron dog that the sled owner told me, he goes, go get them. So,
yeah. Now's your chance.
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
I really wanted to get to Ironwood this year and race that one and kind of get them last races out of my system, but I guess I got to go to Alaska to do it.
Yeah.
The only place with snow.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yep.
Huh.
Yeah. So, and I seen their temperatures were in the 40s this week too. So
Oh,
hopefully they can preserve enough.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, we'll see you guys probably see you at Millville or Haydays, but then we'll definitely see you at Pine Lake.
Yeah. Pine
Yeah,
Lake.
for sure.
Dylan, this bet is on.
I'm going to be listening to all these podcasts for all your speed secrets now.
Yeah. Well, they're going to be all Arctic Cat ZRT stuff now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, well, there's not a lot of speed left in that, is there?
they come factory fast. So.
Not too many secrets.
No, I had that, Gunner, you probably remember this sled from the Sioux that I raced with that triple in it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought about talking to that guy and getting a motor from him because I know we were spending like 12,500 RPMs or 1,300 or 13,000 RPMs out of them things, and that was a Formula 3 600, which is what we'd be using. So,
Well, that's the RPM I'm looking for.
Write that down, Brody.
Yeah. Write it
like
on the table.
that's like a
13,000 RPM.
It's like a crotch rocket engine. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
yeah, it was wild to ride because when he came under the bridge under the front stretch, I think they had me clocked at like 119 or something one time. So I was like, that's moving.
Yeah, no kidding. Holy crap.
I came back in after that, and I'm like, where am I supposed to be on RPMs? And he told me, he's like, 13,000, just hold it wide open. If it blows, it goes.
Holy crap. To make that thing last 500 miles is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, it did not last 500 miles, but it was fun to ride it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not surprising. It didn't last that long.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I think it did like 300, so I'm like 100, she should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did you guys hear our fantasy race from last week? The Pine Lake 500. That's what we're shooting for.
Pine Lake 500 or 25
Yeah.
or 24 hours of Pine Lake.
Yeah, and me and Dustin have talked about it before, but miniature version of the Iron Dog down here would be cool if they started something from Sault Ste. Marie, went through Eagle River over to Duluth, and did like their halfway checkpoint, and they moved them, moved trailer sleds from Superior to Duluth to get through the water there, and then restarted it and ran back up through the North Shore and across over to War Road through Roseau and ended in Thief River would be a sweet race. That's my dream race. So
That would be sweet. That would be a really cool
That'd
race.
be wild.
And then, I mean, it's not like it's impossible to do.
no, just a lot of DNR stuff down here because I think most of the Alaska stuff goes so easy because it's all one DNR channel.
Yeah.
It's not snowmobile clubs and private land and states.
Holy cow. You can work on that, Dylan.
Workshop that for a little bit.
Yeah,
Come back.
you set it up, we'll race it.
Yeah, that doesn't get you out of the Iron Dog though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Yep. The bet is on.
Okay, you guys. Well, we'll see you this summer.
Yep. Have a good night.
All right.
Yeah, thanks again,
Yep,
guys.
thanks.
See
Yeah,
ya.
thanks for having us on.
Yeah. Thanks, Dustin. Dylan. Bye.
Iron Dog sounds gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want no part of that.
That does not sound like fun.
No part of the Iron Dog of skipping water.
Yeah.
And
So I've really got to beat Dylan.
That's all we got out of that conversation.
but no, like Brody, give him a round of applause. Give him.
That was really good. That was a cool story.
Yeah. Cool story. Awesome for them to get eighth. But like Dylan said that.
Well, yeah, it's
they're
eighth.
Not stoked
But-
on eighth, but I'd be stoked on finishing.
But that's a hell of a race.
Well, that's just like third place at the Sioux.
Yeah.
It's like everybody else is like, holy shit, you got third place at the Sioux. And then you're like,
Yes.
You know,
for someone that's won it and shit like that. But yeah, how many miles? 2,500 miles.
2,500. Yeah.
To get 8th after 2,500 miles, that's insane. That's awesome.
ungroomed trail.
Of just backcountry wilderness where if you crash, you're building a fire just to stay alive.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, you break it down to survival mode. That's insane.
Lee Davis, the one who helped us out with the Shop Talk stuff, he actually got 8th back in like I think 06, he said. He said that was his best finish.
Yeah.
when he raced it too. So
That was another question of mine. Do you think a Gen 2 would make it 2,500 miles?
that's what they had to have been racing back in 2000.
I remember seeing pictures of Gen 2s win it back then.
Huh. Man.
Yeah. Well, what were they riding during the Eagle River 24 hours?
ZRs.
Yeah,
you know?
ZRs.
But they like,
lasted.
Those were like champ sleds that they had set up back in the day for 24 hours. That's insane.
And I wish I have that clip of it that I sent to you guys, but that's the only thing I can find on it.
Those were like Formula 3 sleds that you sent.
Yeah. And so I wish. How did they have that much ice?
Must have been like the week after or something.
I don't know. Odd. If anybody has any more information on 24 Hours Le Mans
That's what we should do.
or 24 Hours Eagle River.
We could do it like bootleg.
24-hour Le Mans.
We could do it bootleg style, you know. After the official Pine Lake, we go out and set our own race out on Pine Lake, fucking 500 laps or 500 miles.
It's only 50 laps.
Yeah. I
Only
mean, it's not
50 laps.
impossible.
No, I wouldn't say it's impossible either.
I thought that the 24 hours of it would be tough.
Yeah.
Like maybe 12 hours. 12 hours would be cool to like start at like 8 in the morning and then go to 8 at night.
Yeah.
So then you almost get half and half of.
Yeah. Then you have like, yeah.
But it'd be pretty sketchy going down those straightaways at 100 and plus in the dark.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Well, that's where I told Dad. I was like, yeah, that's why we'd have light plants out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and mark all the corners.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, Iron Dog, thanks to Dustin and Dylan for doing that. Super cool. Yeah, March 10th today, 50 degrees out.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good day.
Yeah, we were on the lake again today.
Yeah. Brought the ZRT out to the lake and that's what I was gonna get into.
Yeah. Yep. How'd that go? How did the drag ZRT go? Because it's a drag sled, right?
Yeah, it's a radar run sled is what it is.
Okay.
So yesterday I had it in the shed and I was like, all right, I better give this thing a rundown before I bring it to the lake. So I put fuel in it, put fuel in the fuel tank, and I got a rundown on it and I started pulling this thing over and it fire and die. Like, gotta be getting fuel, you know? Because I see fuel in the fuel lines. Well, he eliminated the fuel where the fuel goes into the fuel tank, and he put it into the oil injection tank. So the fuel tank is the oil injection tank. It's just a tiny little. The oil fill is the fuel tank to lighten it up, so you don't have to carry much fuel.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so then I found that out, and I was like, oh. That's where the fuel goes.
So did you when you bought this sled, was it running? Like,
Yeah.
It was.
Yep.
It was like it had currently been running. It wasn't
Yep.
sitting for a while. Or,
No, he sent me videos of it. Riding sled, and it is a running and riding sled.
Oh.
But, yeah, I brought it out there today, and I just,
So you're putting gas in the gas tank.
Yep.
And it wasn't going anywhere? Or like...
Well, I just kept pulling it over. And I was like... Then I looked, and I was like, oh, fuel is in the oil tank. And I seen all the oil injection was pulled off of it. I was like, there's no reason this oil tank has to be in here. And I look, and where the fuel pump goes, right into the oil tank.
Oh.
So
you're going to run this one premix then?
Yeah, it'll have to be. All the premix is already taken off of it.
Or the oil injection?
Yeah, the oil injection is taken off of it. So, yeah, it'll be a premix machine. I would hate to put the oil pump and everything back in it and then have to readjust all that crap,
32 to 1?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, 32-1 is what the plan is right now. I haven't tore into the engine at all to see what's done to it, or if like what the compression is at and stuff like that.
Did he give you any like speeds that he's seen on radar runs?
No,
like
he
what it had ever got?
No, that's what I was planning on finding out today, was what RPM and what speed it can run.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just couldn't.
Did you get it on the lake though?
Yeah, I
You
got
had
it on the
ice.
lake today, but and then I seen that the tack wasn't working. Got an aftermarket tack on it. Jesus Christ. I got it out there and I wound it out and wasn't working, and started running low on fuel, and then it started to cut out, and I was like, well, this is scrapped. I know it runs, it runs and drives, it moves. There's a lot of carb noise. There's not much else noise.
Because no airbox.
No airbox.
So that's one thing that we're debating on doing on ours.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that.
Why?
Run no airbox?
Yeah. Airbox, but with little pre-filters.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really up in the air for me, because he built a nice block-off plate and stuff that the fuel pump and the CDI is all mounted to.
Yep.
But I know it just throws your jetting way off.
Yeah, like we're almost thinking of the airbox on how how the airbox looks in there.
Yeah.
Like we're almost thinking of like cutting out the front of it, so like it's still structurally all there.
Yeah.
But just so it's all cut out, and then we'll have our 3 little individual little pre-filters on the carbs.
Yep.
But so it's still essentially in there, but way easier to move around and change jets on.
Right, because that's going to be the fight for these things. They're going to be so finicky with the temperature.
Ours right now doesn't seem as finicky as the 440.
Oh, that's another reason why I cut it out today, because it was 45 degrees when I was on the lake, and it was just smoke.
Like, was it really doggy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because like ours on our 440, we can tell like every 10 degrees, you can feel on that 440, if it's doggy out of the corner, it's like, okay, we can drop another size. But this one, I mean, we were jetted for 20 degrees at Nadewash, and it was like 45, and I never got one bog.
Huh. Yeah, no, I just noticed that it was, get a launch on it, and it would, and then it would clear out.
Really?
And then I could just tell it was running rich, coughing out the carbs and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, yeah, I wouldn't want to fight chasing around at 50 degrees for the rest of the season.
Yep. Huh.
And then it's going to to be 20 below at Pine Lake next year. So
20 below. God, I hope not.
we're not going to get
I
a
hope not.
freaking accurate reading.
No.
So that was, I wrote it today a little bit just to get a rundown a little bit, and didn't get a speed out of it.
How does it sound?
It sounds okay.
With
That's what I mean. There's a lot of carb noise. Yeah.
But that one actually has PSI pipes and stingers on it.
Yeah. And it's not extremely noticeable.
Oh,
it
really?
sounds about like yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So if you watch the vlog, that's about what it sounds like. Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to come to Pine Lake today, so then we could get them side by side.
Yeah, it wouldn't have had a comparison.
Oh, really?
It was that far off. So
We tried a few different clutch setups today, to where we actually had 3 different individual clutches, like of different style clutches too. And the one Dad come by, and I'm holding the radar gun, 93.
That one's not working.
Dad's like, it was running good RPM, so it's like, that one's not good.
Yeah. That's what I noticed about the clutches in this thing. It's like, from what I got my baseline, what to look at, for clutches and stuff. It's like this thing is way off
Of what that guy was radar running with.
Yeah, so a radar run setup is like totally different than what I'm gonna, and I don't know what the gears are at or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't opened it up yet. I pretty much got it, and I was gonna put it on the lake and see what it did, and then tear into it.
Yep. But then you also got your 500 mile ZRT back home now.
Yeah, it's here. So it's a bone stock 96 ZRT, all original 500 miles. And I looked at it today. Finally got to look at it today.
Yeah,
it is clean, like really clean.
Yeah, that's what you sent the video of, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks super clean.
Yeah, so I'm excited to get that one running and just see what it does.
Stock.
Bone stock.
Yep.
And then kind of compare the two. So we'll see. And the skid frame in this thing is way off. So like, it's got an aftermarket front arm in it, which I like. So it's got adjustable limiter straps and stuff like that.
Yep.
But the mounting brackets are different from factory. So, and then the rear is a big thing. There's no torsion spring. It's a coilover on the rear.
No torsion springs?
No, it's a coilover on the rear. And it's like, the sled sits
because it's a drag skid in there.
It sits like, it's a drag skid. So it sits like 3 inches off the ice. So I'm like, I got to build a whole nother skid frame for this thing.
Oh, it didn't come with a skid?
It come with 3 skids.
But all set up for radar runs?
No, there's a couple factory ones, but the one that's in it is set up for radar runs. So there's a coil over in the back. That's going to be gone. But one thing I did like is it's got a big wheel kit in the rear. So an 8-inch wheel.
Really?
Yeah. So I did like that, but just not the torsion spring. You know, I'm going to have to put torsion springs in. If I'm going to use this skid frame or build another one, I'll just have to do some digging. So,
wow. Yeah, like even that video you sent to the 500-mile one, it's clean. But like you touch the foam on the inside of the...
it's dry rotted.
Yeah. It was just rotted away when you touched it.
Well, I mean, it's, something sits for 20 years, it's going to be that way. But it does run, so...
96, that's like 27 years.
Yeah, 27. Me and that sled probably have the same birthday, so... Yeah.
Holy
No,
crap.
actually, that sled's older than me, because that sled would have been made in 95.
Yeah.
So it's probably the same age as you.
December 95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Huh.
Your birthday's not in 95.
Yeah, it is.
December 95.
I thought it was 96.
No.
No, I'm 96.
What?
Yeah.
My whole life, I thought it was 96.
No.
I don't know when my brother's birthday is. And May 5th, something. But
so we're just, the age difference is 4 years. So I think 94 to 2000, or 96 to 2000.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's
95.
what it is between me and my brother. But he went to school later. So, like, I don't know what year he was born.
You gotta have some lube to that.
You gotta grease this thing up a little bit.
So what I wrote down,
I wonder if the mic picked
just
that
from
up.
what I wrote down here was just some. We went over Hypersport, unreal, 202 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The race out east looked fun.
Yeah, the Lincoln or whatever the hell that race was.
I don't know what they called it.
They had a Pine Lake race there.
I know I seen that,
But that was the week before.
Yep.
And then now this weekend, it looked like it went good. It was just Saturday racing.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's what I seen. It was pro open and pro stock. Scott Preston tagged us in that. I think it was that guy. It
didn't look like him
That's the only person we've sold a shirt to. I think.
out there. We haven't shipped any in the Maine.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah.
Luke Vady. I think it was his dad.
Okay.
Wearing a SHOPTALK shirt
In Maine.
In Maine.
In Maine, that was pretty cool to see that picture.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that looked fun out there. Man, we got to try to get out there, Kyle.
I know it. Yeah, it would be fun to bring a couple sleds out. Maybe next year,
Maybe next year we'll try.
depending on how busy the schedule is here.
Yep.
They always plan for a lot of races here,
Yeah.
but it always seems like it gets cut short.
And it's hard to say on if a race is going to be a good ice race or if an unplowed lake race.
Right. I think it's just going to be a spur of the moment thing,
Yeah.
Like if they cancel a week before, it's like, well, we got 2 weeks to get out there and go race.
Man, that's so far away. It's hard to drive 11 hours to the Sioux, but then add another 12 hours on on top of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you get to Chicago and you're like, well, we're 10 hours in. We're almost halfway.
Almost.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. That was always my mentality driving out there. It's like Chicago is a good point. It's like we're almost halfway.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to get out there one time.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Two races did not count as a championship.
Nope,
So
no championships.
Poor Jesse Hallstrom is no pro stock championship for Jesse.
Nope. But he's doing snowcross, so.
I think he might actually try to do like national snowcross.
Yeah.
At the end of the year.
Yeah. Spirit Mountain.
Lake Geneva or Elk River or Spirit Mountain.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That'll be cool to watch.
But
Crazy kid.
Are we calling Vince today?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just he's actually on his way home from Florida now.
Oh, okay.
I think he said it was like 20 days in Florida he was. And we'd made a test call with him because he was driving.
Yeah.
Before you got here, just to make sure he wasn't in like a tin can or something. And I texted him and no response back, but
We are 2 hours in already,
Yeah.
so.
yeah. But yeah, the 286 parents.
The what?
The some of these
Oh,
parents
yeah.
at the 120 race.
Yeah.
Are just
It is a 120 race.
you would not believe the rigs there.
Oh,
Like,
yeah?
Probably more bigger enclosed trailers at the 120 race than there is like at our normal core race.
I believe it. Fucking.
Yeah.
And then to have outside these big trailers, like 2 full-blown big snowcross sleds, and then 3 or 4 little 200s and 120s for a 8-year-old.
Going all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going all in.
When we did it, my dad had a 120 improved,
Yeah.
and like there was no improvements to it at all. I think my dad took the governor off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just sharpen the carbides. That was it.
Well, yeah, for lake racing, yeah, we actually had sharp carbides on there, but yeah, the amount of money being put into that is unreal. Like props to the people wanting to do it and doing it.
Yeah.
Because
Well, that's going to be my life here shortly.
Probably not to that scale.
Not to that. We'll still show up on a 2-place with a kitty cat.
Yeah.
Not even a 120.
Uh-huh.
Just
yeah, but to that scale, it's just unreal.
Doesn't even sound fun anymore at that scale. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, the kids that were yelling back at the dads, that was where I was, because I was like, I'm there watching, like I'm there taking it all in, and the dad's telling this kid to take this line and on the inside, and just right before the staging area, and this one kid is just reaming his dad up. He did not want to take that line.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that's funny.
but like there was a lot of people there, so
It's good to see.
very
Yeah.
very popular.
Yeah, that's good to see.
Yeah, that's cool.
So there's a lot of kids with snowmobiles. So I think that was their last race of the year too. Besides going to these last 3 nationals that are, Lake Geneva got a lot of rain too, but
Yeah.
I guess they've been making snow like the last 3 days. So they're gonna try to have it. We're gonna give Vince VanSlyke here with VS3 a call real quick.
Yeah, I got some
See if he-
stuff for him to do.
VS3 slightly less south, but still very far south.
How far south?
Well, we're almost to Atlanta, so we're just about to reach the point where people start thinking when they drive.
Oh,
And anything below that is hot garbage.
yeah. Just lock your doors on the way through Atlanta.
Well, it's not even that. It's just bad.
Vince, was it you were in Florida for 20 days? I think you said.
Yeah, it'll be like it was like a 20 or 21 day trip here.
Holy cow!
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And actually, your girlfriend Hannah flew down there and is riding back with you.
Yeah, she flew down on Thursday, and then she's co-piloting.
Oh,
right back.
that makes it a lot nicer doing it that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huh. So how many Hell Yeah brothers did you end up getting on the weekend?
How many did I give out? You mean?
Yeah. Did anybody give them to you?
No, God, no. But every time somebody would rev a bike, or every time somebody drives by on the highway right now, I still go, brother. Yeah, I don't know. These guys are a different breed, man.
Yeah. I'm sure it's pretty nice out down there too. So you're seeing a lot of them.
Yesterday it wasn't that hot. It was like 83, 85, but it was like 94% humidity.
Just
it was
sticky
less
hot.
than ideal. Yeah.
So after this 20-day spree, are you going to go out and get some skull tattoos and an HD tattoo?
No, I'm going to stay as far away from air-cooled pushrod V-twins as humanly possible. So how are the Dohrns?
The Dohrns were good. They made the Iron Dog sound like I never want to do it. So.
Oh, really? Yeah, I feel like I would want to do it, but I don't think Hannah would let me do it.
No, like that's just way too much unknown and water skipping in the dark and
Right.
Well, Vince, I made a bet for both of us. So since you sound like you're interested, so I got to beat Dylan at Pine Lake this coming year in order to not do the Iron Dog.
All right.
But if I lose to him, I got to do the Iron Dog.
So Vince could get in on that if he's racing a triple too.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to beat him in the triple class.
Yep.
I think we might be able to do that.
I've been every time I look.
If you screw this up for me, Vince, I'm going to be so mad.
I'm just saying something dumb will happen to them. It'll like burn down or something like that. So.
Yeah.
You might just have to finish this one.
Yeah. Every time I do see a SRX 600 on Facebook, I do look into it for you if it's a good deal or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone that you've sent me so far is one I've already looked at or saved.
I like this vintage Yamaha race sleds on Instagram or whatever, and it's all those old Vipers and SRX 700s and stuff. It's like they are sweet.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But got the old ZRT out today.
The 500 miler?
No, not that one. Mine's a radar sled right now. So.
Oh, that's right. Hey, did you guys see they broke the 1,000-foot record this weekend?
Yep,
yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that too.
202 miles an hour.
Yeah.
That's gnarly.
Yeah. So what was? So they had some gnarly stories about Iron Dogs, huh?
Yeah.
I guess I can. You don't have to retell them.
Yep. Like, I should have it up tomorrow morning, so you guys should have something pretty interesting to listen to on your way back.
Perfect.
Where are you guys stopping tonight?
On the north side of Atlanta. That's the goal. Just get the hell away from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're like, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes out.
Oh, sure.
So go through there. Well, hopefully there's not too many people around. And then just put it in the rear view where it belongs.
Yeah.
Vince, we got some good comments on you and Alex together on the phone last week, so that was good.
Yeah, at the bar. Yeah, I was at a Indian industry dinner thing, and they're like, I'm like, screw it, we'll do it. Why not?
Yeah.
But I totally forgot that Alex was on the phone until you told me. Oh shit, I have to now.
Yeah, that's what I figured to get you on. You would have. So.
Yeah.
Huh. But yeah, we're going on 2 hours here, Brody. Or
2 hours 8 minutes.
Wow, a long one tonight.
Yeah.
Good.
Good. But yeah, any other sweet motorcycle stories from your Florida trip, Vince, or we'll let you get back to driving?
There wasn't too much interesting shit until today when we were tearing down the tent. So we're tearing stuff down. Hannah's there, and then the 3 other guys I work with are tearing it all down, and we're in this parking lot at JNP Cycle, and they have a guy there that blocking off. Just, so there's not random people just riding their bikes in. They can ride in if we're doing fitment, upfit and stuff like that. But it's everyone's tearing down, so they're not letting anybody in on bike except for someone who works there. And this dude rolls up
and like was trying to get in, I guess, or something like that. Like I didn't see the beginning part of this. And then I guess the guy, you know, the security guy's like, no, you can't go in there. Like they're moving stuff around, like nobody can get in. And the guy starts yelling at him, and then the guy gets on his bike and like tries to like just ride through, and the security guard like hits his bike, like the front of his bike with his little flag thing. And then this dude just came unglued. Like he starts yelling at him, he's like, don't you fucking touch me. And then he gets his phone out and starts recording shit and all this stuff, and he's yelling, and the security guard's like, I don't know, like 60, and he is not backing down. Like this dude's ready to kill somebody. And the best part is like the booth across from us, there's this dude, and like he is a metalhead, like to a T, like long hair, super tall. He literally has a fucking Slayer primary cover on his Harley. It's awesome. And he just walks over there and he just stands along the fence just waiting for something to happen. He's like, as soon as this fucking thing happens, I'm taking this dude out. And like, this little Mexican dude, like he's got a helmet and everything. Like I bet it would be about 3 to 5 seconds and this dude would have had him down. It was awesome. So anyway, moral of the story is this is what happens when you like grown men ride sports cars. So yeah, they should all be deported.
So Brody, don't get a Sportster.
I wasn't planning on it.
Right. Don't do it.
Huh.
But yeah, we put about, I don't know, I think just about 700 miles on the T7. Only got to ride dirt bike the one time at Croom.
Oh.
Because I was busy.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
You were down there for work. It's not like you were on vacation.
I know. Yeah, and then freaking Chad's out, so that sucks for a while. He's going to be in a back race and a neck race. I think it was like L6 or L7 or I don't know, something in the back. He wrecked pretty good at Daytona.
Ishta.
So, yeah.
What about, did you help any flat track guys? Like the...
No, I don't do any of that stuff.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay. Oh, you were just down there with the Fox Daytona Bike Week booth.
Yep. Yeah, so we're slinging 4 cartridges and shocks on bikes.
Sure. Did you sell a lot of them? Like, was it a...
Oh, God, yeah. I bet...
Holy crap.
I mean, shit, I bet we did maybe 30 sets of rear shocks and probably 25, like, port kits.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So, and I bet, like, almost 80% of those were in the last 3 to 4 days. So, like, yeah, the one day, like, I got there and dude was already waiting that we'd scheduled from the day before. So, it was like 8 until, I think, just about 7 o'clock, like, just nonstop. I better sit down for, like, 5 minutes to have lunch.
Jeez. For rear shocks on those things, are you doing, like, full clickers or, like, are they in kind of the QS3 realm?
Yeah, they're just QS3 stuff. Some of the older Dyna and Sportster shocks still have like the 24 click low speed adjusters.
Oh.
But all the new stuff is just 3 positions because people are idiots. They can't count.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It doesn't ride right. It's like, you
Yeah.
check your clickers. This one's on 24 out. And this one's only on 2 out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Huh. Well, yeah, me and Vince are already planning on getting a dirt bike ride together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be. I don't know, it's looking like it might be a little bit colder this coming weekend, but I'll be curious if they're still going to be open or not.
Yeah. Yep. This weekend kind of looks. It's warm at the start of this week, but then it kind of cools back off again. So.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
looking
know
forward to it. I
what
got
I'm
the
gonna
old
do when I get home.
got the old RM out today.
Yeah, Kyle's got his RM sitting right outside the garage right now.
Was he getting arrested in Gonvick or what?
No, he wasn't with that band of hooligans. They did. I could hear
out with the Baltimore Wheelie Boys.
Yeah, no, they were doing wheelies. I could hear them from my house. Like they were going south on 7.
Yeah.
And in between like my house and mom and dad's house, and I could see them on the tar.
Oh, jeez.
Hell yeah.
And And then
Brother.
state trooper had him pulled over at the gas station. So
Oh, that's funny.
Love it.
but well, okay,
I don't know.
Vince.
Maybe if it's cold enough up there, what's the lake look like? Is it shit or?
No, we were just out there today. We're gonna be out there again tomorrow. So we could maybe do some lake stuff next weekend if you wanted to too.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see how I feel if I want to get back in the van or if I'm just gonna stay on the couch for like 72 hours or something.
How far away from your? How far away is Cambridge from you?
I think it's just under 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Actually, it's like an hour and a half or something.
Oh, okay. So it'll be a little over halfway to your house then.
Yeah.
Sure. We'll try to plan something.
Yeah, for sure.
But any
Can't be too far out.
any tech questions, Brody?
No. No, I do not.
Actually, yeah. So like,
Today.
What?
What was that?
Well, last time it was a single stage or a dual stage. Maybe we go 2-stage or 3-stage this time.
Oh, dude, that could be a question.
triple stack? No, I
I
got
put 3 triangles on face of piston. That's the tagline.
I got
YouTube video.
my RM. I got like coated forks on it or whatever, and that coating is wearing off. How big of a deal is that?
Well, it depends how it was put on.
Yeah,
Because I had a bike that had it coated, and they didn't remove any material before they put the coating on, so it was stickier than stock. And so one time I was at a really muddy place, and both my fork seals blew out, and so I just ran it like that for a while to wipe some of the coating off, so they actually started to move again.
And that's what it seems
As
like.
long as it's not flaking, you're fine.
Yeah, it's not flaking; it's just wearing off.
Oh,
So
Yeah, I don't know. They don't really last as long as people think they do, especially if you aren't like really keeping up on doing seals and bushings and all that stuff.
does VS3 do coatings or not?
I mean, I can figure out who to send them to, but I can't do them in my garage, that's for sure. Unless you want the Krylon special.
just fucking wrap them in Teflon. I don't care.
I remember when I worked at Polaris, I was on like the Victory and the Indian forums just to see what kind of dumb shit was going on in the world. And these people literally like were sending their fork tubes out to get like painted and powder coated, like the inner ones. And I'm like, you can't do this. Like they're trying to convince this guy, like, oh, can I just paint these? Like I want them black. I'm like, I'd like message the student, like, you cannot do what these people are doing. Like you have to send them out for a real coating. Do not powder coat them. It won't work. So yeah, people are idiots.
Yeah. It's got to be a smooth surface.
Yeah.
This guy's driving with his 4-ways on. This next guy's got his high beams on. I might put him in the ditch. Getting real close to Atlanta.
Huh. Well, okay, Vince. If it's gonna get serious, we'll let you go.
Yeah.
10 and 2 the whole time.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe we'll have one on 2, but the one that's on 10 is gonna mostly be up in the window with a Freedom rocket pointing to the sky. So.
If anybody watches that 70 show, Red Foreman, my finger actually hurts from flipping people off.
Oh man. Yeah, what is it? He always says like dumbass, which is hilarious.
Yeah, dumbass. And I'm gonna put my boot in your ass.
Happen
Yeah.
to you because you have bad luck. Bad things happen to you because you're a dumbass.
But yeah, we'll probably be switching our shows to the Sunday shows again, Vince. So
I didn't know they actually were that before. So
yeah, our first few shows, that was before we started calling Vince every week.
Yeah.
That we had switched the Sunday shows to a Monday show because like racing was usually on Sundays as well. So.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. So.
Now we're back on Sundays.
So yeah, jot that down on your calendar.
Okay.
My Sundays are booked.
Oh, I forgot to tell Dustin I had my Dohrn sweatshirt.
I
on,
noticed that
too.
when you had it on there. I was like, hey,
Yeah. Yep.
that's cute.
Yep.
That's a cute top.
Gotta rep the team. I got dressed up for it, so I'm wearing a flannel right
I
now.
was wondering. I was like, did you go to church this morning?
I don't go to church.
But well, okay, Vince. Well, we'll maybe see you on the dirt bike this weekend, or maybe the snowmobile.
Yeah, one of the two maybe. We'll see what happens.
Sure.
See what the weather does.
Well, I'm game for either. So
Bring the VMAX 4 up.
Oof. That thing, I haven't even cleaned the carbs on it this year.
Nah, they don't need it.
Oh, it needs it. Don't you worry. When there's 4 carbs, the pilot jets are like a 17 or something like that. So
Mhm.
really
Tiny.
tiny.
Yeah.
well, okay. Well, we'll talk to you later, Vince. Oh, yeah, I actually sent you a picture of some mega floats yesterday.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
I know.
Yeah, those are on Colin Taggart's sled.
Mm.
So,
All right.
yep.
Cool. Thanks for calling.
Yep. Thanks for the time, Vince. We'll
Yeah.
Have fun driving.
good luck through Atlanta.
Yep.
Yeah, only 19 hours to go, so we're good to go.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good.
Hey, we're going by Atlanta Motor Speedway right now. So go do some laps with the van.
Please do.
See if fucking Dale Jr. knows what he's talking about or not.
Sure.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Gonna go real fast or gonna turn real left. All right. Well, I
Yeah.
guess I can let you guys go.
We're letting you go,
Yeah.
Vince. All right.
All right, Vince.
Okay.
See ya.
Okay, we'll see you later, Vince.
Mega floats.
You just got to tell him when to shut up. And like, we're hanging up the phone now, Vince. You'll just keep talking and we'll just keep
Well, he's
talking.
driving. Like, I don't. Whenever I'm driving, I want to talk on the phone. Like, whenever, like last year, going out to the Sioux, I drove out there by myself.
Yeah.
I bet you I made like 20 phone calls.
Yeah.
Of just talking to people driving on my way out there.
Mm-hmm.
People that I knew that were at work, people that I had worked with, and
Yeah.
it's like, what are you up to now?
Yeah. Calling everybody.
Yeah. So yeah, we rode today, ride tomorrow.
I'll be at work tomorrow. So.
Yeah, me too. But I'll
Yeah.
be running tomorrow if it's nice out.
I think
I was gonna say today would have been freaking nice to take a run.
yeah. Yeah.
So we're losing daylight,
No, we gained daylight. We just lost.
but in the morning.
Well,
Yeah, it'll be a little bit darker.
I was gonna
going to
start
yeah.
turning my runs on instead of doing the rower. I was gonna go for a run in the morning, but
Oh,
not daylight. So
huh.
might have to get it in after work, which is gonna suck.
Yeah.
But
It is what it is.
I got to do 100 miles on a fucking ZRT by Pine Lake, so
Mhm.
I got to start now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
There
should
mu-
be fun.
The amount of fun I had on that ZRT at Nadawash, it's like it's just pure fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the pro class stuff is you're pushing it.
Yeah.
You're on the edge pretty much.
Mhm.
And then so the ZRT is just go out there and just have fun. Like just
Mm-hmm.
you're just back to just riding a sled just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so easy and it's like this is fun.
Mm-hmm. But long road ahead of us before that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, for sure. But try and squeeze as much work as we can in this next couple weekends where we might still have ice.
Are you gonna try to get it out again?
Yeah, I'll probably try and get it out next weekend, get an airbox on it. And
So you don't like the no airbox mod? Because we're really scratching our head with that one.
yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, it's not impossible. It just, I think it's kind of an equalizer
Yeah.
is what it is.
Because it doesn't like it draws air in down by your shins.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's
the best air.
No.
It's not about the air. It's more about like making everything even, I guess.
If anybody has one of those old Black Magic scavenger air boxes, let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know. So yeah, we might have to try to buy a set of pipes or something for this thing too. We were gonna try to avoid pipes, but maybe that'd be
They're out there.
more gooder.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't really gotten a comparison between the two yet.
No.
So
No.
be interesting anyways.
Yep. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah. To tease next week's episode, collaboration that the people have
We're doing a collab?
that the people have been waiting for.
All right.
Like, yeah, I'm working on something.
All right.
It's in the works.
Like the UFC fight companions.
Oh
are
yeah.
for the works.
So me and Regan and Brody are big UFC guys. Would anybody be interested in like a live, like a Facebook live fight companion? Of
just us watching the fights, talking about it.
Yeah, like we wouldn't be able to show the fight at all.
Yeah.
No,
but we'd be broadcasting us narrating the fight.
Yeah, and just throwing our 2 cents in there.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Last night's card was freaking. It was good, but like the last 3 fights made it completely worth it. Like,
It was an okay card.
it was the last 2 fights were definitely freaking awesome.
Are you a UFC guy, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, but I just been watching Mike Tyson train.
For Jake Paul.
Yeah.
I know that's silly.
It's so dumb. It's going to be so dumb. I mean, everybody's getting ramped up for it, and it's going to be a tie,
Yeah.
is what it'll be.
I don't even care about those fights.
No.
They're not even real fights.
Right.
I don't
pretty
give a shit.
It's pretty silly.
Yeah, but that's what I've just been getting revved up about.
Huh. But no.
That and Supercross.
I know Supercross was good.
It's coming down to it.
My fantasy picks have sucked.
I know.
I didn't even check.
What the heck? You're still at like 100 and some points.
No, like
Probably not after
200
this
something.
weekend.
I'm still like 100,000 overall.
Yeah.
Like out of the last like 4 years that we've done this has been my worst year ever.
It helps me.
I stopped checking. I don't even.
Do you do the picks?
I do the picks,
Oh.
but let's say
I think
okay.
Dad's in the lead. And I
Yeah,
think
he was
Dad's
last
in the
weekend, I
lead
think.
with Dylan Stevens like 1 point right behind him.
I haven't checked today, but yeah.
Man, it's been miserable to look at my picks. And I make good picks too. It's like, who wouldn't have thought last night that Jet was going to win? Sexton for second, who I put, and Tomac in third.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty...
Damn,
That's pretty much every race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost had that pick perfect. I had Tomac in second and Chase in third.
And like Adam Cincerillo for like 14th. And
Yep, I put him in 14 too.
Yeah.
he got like 12th.
Yeah,
God
I usually
damn it.
do that.
Yeah.
I usually put Cincerillo or, Stewart down there somewhere.
Yeah. And it was last year, 2 weekends in a row, I had got the wild card right.
Yeah.
It's like this year, not even close.
I think I've gotten a couple right.
Not even close. So it's been... So yeah, we're still, for RM Fantasy, still playing for Shop Talk hat and a shirt, I think we said, for the winner. So hopefully Dad wins. But I think it was Stevens and Ree in like second and third.
Yeah.
So who knows? It changes week to week so fast.
Yeah.
2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Jeepers.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good one though.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah. Last weekend was really good too. So,
Yeah.
but well, okay.
Hit the road.
Yep.
It's getting dark out.
I was hungry at the start of this show.
Yeah.
I was eating jerky. I had a banana. It's like I'm still starving.
Yeah. I haven't really had lunch today, so it's
I had a piece of pizza and a banana for lunch. I'm like, oh, that's fine. I'm not doing anything. But like 4 o'clock came rolling around. It's like, oh, I'm hungry.
yeah. All right. Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah. If you're still listening, thanks.
hopefully this motivates you to do the Iron Dog.
Yeah, someone get more people out there for the Iron Dog.
Yeah.
Groups of brothers too doing the Iron Dog. That sounds like fun. I couldn't imagine having you following me during the Iron Dog.
Wouldn't you get pissed? Like,
no, I would just be like, why is it Gunner leading?
Well,
I want to follow Gunner.
I would just get pissed if if Colin was doing something stupid, or I imagine he would get pissed if I was, on his ass the whole time.
Yeah, it's just weird having people ride behind you. I don't know.
I'd imagine that would be the way it would be with any partner,
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be interesting though.
Yeah.
If you're just,
you'd have to change your mindset a little bit.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm just kind of like, I'm just back here just following.
Yeah.
He's setting the pace and I'm just matching it.
Yeah.
Unless it's a really fast pace and you're not up to par on it.
Yeah.
You're on the edge of crashing.
Yeah.
Like
the whole time.
every 3 minutes, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
For 2,500 miles, that would be so hard. But
okay. ZRTs and
marathon
Iron
training.
Dogs.
yeah.
I'm not doing a stupid thumbnail. There, you can point at me. Yeah, okay. See you guys.